Assalamu alaikum. You all may be seated. We got them from across the country today. Thank you for coming. I intend to answer some of your questions today. I won't go into no long recitation. I think my daughter did fairly well getting me ready to meet God. You know, from yesterday, how many saw the program yesterday or participated? Not that many. Well, we did have they invited me here yesterday also to have a TV program, a live program, and I participated, and we got quite a few calls in. Matter of fact, I was surprised, one right after another. However, the calls all indicated that nobody knows God. And it's almost that they don't want to know. So it kind of concerned me a little bit, and I thought about it, and I didn't sleep very well at first. I do sleep sometimes. I was asked about that yesterday also. However, everybody that I come in contact with, the problem seems to be with them is that they have no real evidence as to where to start to think from concerning God, as to what is real. Since you've been born in sin and baptized in it, there's nothing definite. You're always starting up in the ether. And so when the wind comes along and it blows you where you were, you're gone. You're never stable. Now, it don't make any difference if you know how to build a skyscraper or everything that we see, from the nuclear plants and bombs. We got black people who know how to do that. But they can't tell you about me. You know, that's something. The only reality that it is, they have no knowledge of it. This has to be by design. If it wasn't, your nature would have come alive by now. If you're drinking muddy water, and the water is a stream and it's moving, if it remains muddy, just keep going back up the stream. You will find out where the mud is coming from. Because by nature, if it's left alone, it will clear itself up. Today, we can bear witness that our open enemy is not leaving us alone or any of our affairs. And he's done it so thoroughly, he's had the time. It isn't that the devil wanted to be the devil after we were born. You know, as we being born, coming in at this particular time, he was the devil before, and he's still the devil. So now, since he was here before, we have stepped into, or we were born into his system. His system. Now, the greatest thing that he can do to keep us from ever being born after we were born is to make sure that the system does everything to stop the motion of life. If you don't have that, you can never come alive. You're like a vegetable. And if we cut the cord between you and I, where you would get knowledge to actually learn how to make the planet serve you, you're lost. This man looks very powerful to us because he's going out in space. He can tell you when it's going to rain. He can tell you when to put your raincoats on. He can tell you when the sun is going to shine, what temperature it's going to be. Now you think, man, he do all that? It makes it very comfortable for you in your mind. You know, I was speaking with some people here recently, which this has been a conversation quite often. Most people, when they start thinking about God, they're comfortable with what they think they know. With what they think they know. They think they know. And if you start asking them questions, they can't come up with no answer. However, in their mind, they're still comfortable because they can't come up with no answers. They think you can't either. So then in their mind, well, we'll just have an argument. Because what makes him think he knows more than me? This is my God just as much as it is his God. That's the way we think. Do we have any visitors here today? Assalamu alaikum. You all may, everybody's here that already knows me. I may go in a different direction. If we have any visitors that has not seen me before or heard of me, I should teach you. Remember, I think, what did Jesus do? He went after the one that was lost and left the whole flock of sheep, went after the one that was lost. So if you're really a visitor and you really come to find out something, not to be entertained, although this is entertaining because it stimulates your nature, you feel good. And the feeling, since it's a feeling and it's good, however, it's natural. It isn't something that you have to feel guilty about after you experience it and then feel bad. You understand what I'm saying? So how many visitors do we have? 3, 4 visitors. You know, the brothers that love for their brother like they love for themselves have used the energy to go out and finances to get the information out that I would be here. I know that this afternoon is young yet, and if we have no more visitors than that are here, this may lodge into my mind, nobody really wants me. You must admit, I don't care what you have, you don't have it. You might say, well, I have Jesus as my personal Savior. You can't prove that. You cannot prove that. It's impossible. We were speaking this morning. I was talking to one of my grandsons, and they have just now gotten to be with me or come to be with me. And they're very righteous, so to say. And they were very comfortable with their religion, Christianity, and what the other grandfather has taught them. So I didn't tell them anything. I just asked them some questions. Couldn't answer one. Everything that I asked them, then I answered it and proved it. You listening? Yes. Well, who am I going to save? Just the ones that's here? Nobody else wants to be saved. You all are here, so this evidently don't apply to you. But I'm saying this just for you to look around. First place is a small place. However, it's already prophesied that the road to hell was filled. It was broad. My road was narrow. It was straight. But you had plenty of room on it. There wasn't nobody on it. You think about this. You know, from the questions or the question that I received yesterday over the air was so insulting from a people that is supposed to be looking for God or should know the time. If they don't know the time, and you're going to conduct yourself in such a manner as what they were doing and think that I'm going to continue to let this go. You know, a brother called in and asked me to make it, sun come out yesterday, it was raining. Suppose I had done that. He still would have said I was crazy. Because he wouldn't have believed I did it. Well, like I heard the minister say, it was supposed to be raining here today. Yesterday was supposed to have when they called me and told me, asked me about coming up here, then they gave me the date. I said, well, let me know when you want me up. So they gave me a few dates. I said, well, I'll take those dates. And then after a while, they called and told me, say, well, the minister is giving a parade or some type of gathering on the Sunday that you'll be here. And quite a few people may not, or the Saturday that I'll be on the TV, and quite a few people may not tune in because they'd be out on the mall, on the green. I said, well, yeah. I said, yes, sir. But I still think it'll go all right, this is the minister telling me. I said, well, I promise I'll be there. I'll still go. And we have a television, radio program that I was supposed to be on, and at the last minute, canceled. Now, this is right after the Million Man celebration or anniversary day. This is the weekend after. I want y'all to think. I want you to think. Now, I see my daughter go through reading all this about what is expected. I'm here as myself, telling you some things that's happening every day that you can see. And everybody's here that already knows me. I may go in a different direction. If we have any, it was canceled. However, the TV show wasn't canceled. And we needed the people to be home to see it, to see how wise they are, to see how ignorant they are, or see if I'm really needed. Are you listening? Yes, sir. So I decided, well, we won't have no parade or nothing of that sort. Not today. So we let it rain a little bit. And then today, I said, well, some things that are happening back at headquarters. So I want to be in a good frame of mind today. Not that I'm not always. However, I'm in a more dangerous frame of mind sometimes than I am today. I want it to be. You all understand what I'm saying? Yes. So I wanted the sun to shine. And it has. And I hope what you hear coming from me today shines in your mind and your thinking in a way you don't never forget it. You take it as a step and you take the next step towards the light until you actually be in it and become the light. If you have any questions of me regardless of what it is, those of you that just came, the first-time visitors, you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to question God. Now, my grandsons, I never told them that I'm God. But since they showed up, they're hearing it for the first time. Unless someone else told them. But I guess today they either get to see it or believe it or disbelieve it. The fact still remains. You know, there are things that we need, not necessarily want. There are things that we need. You need food, you need clothing, and you need shelter. Those are secondary. The real need is that you need to know the laws and principles of creation, and you need to know how to be in harmony with them where it can serve you. And no one is teaching you that need. And this is what confirms that we're dead. If you don't know how to get what you need, and I don't mean you need to eat so you go down to the corner store and you get something. That's a need, but that's secondary. If you don't know the truth, if you need to know the time. We raised a man up named Elijah in the Bible by birth with the name Elijah. He performed what was prophesied of him or what Elijah would do. He did it. He left like it's prophesied that he would do and told his son or Elisha that he would receive a double portion of his spirit if he saw him leave. That happened. Now, we need to know what to expect after he is gone. What is coming after him? And by him being here, speaking directly for God, directly. He wasn't speaking for Jim Jones or no enemy of ours. He was speaking to all of us directly from God. You need to know this. And you need to know what he said. If you don't know, you're going to miss what I'm doing and saying. To a degree, you will not be as close to me as you might would have want to be. I hope you understand. We caused a live, living man to be a daily sacrifice for 40 years. 40 years. Most of you haven't been married to each other that long. Those of you that are married. He was married to me in the idea that I had for the perfection of this planet and universe through the agent or vessel of the black man. This man was married to me. The entity of me, not this body that you see, but the entity of me, the God himself. This is me. This is I. This is the one that raised him up. And by being married to me, imposed a duty on him. He didn't fail in his duty, regardless to how ignorant you approached him, and remain that way. Most of you, encourage your children not to be with me. And I'm talking to those that are listening at the tape, not the ones that are here, but the ones that will be listening at this tape that are not Muslims. So you say, I'm not a Muslim. And you say it as though it was canceled. However, the TV show wasn't canceled. When you say that, the wise man knows that this person is ignorant. Why would he be so quick to agree that he's not with right? Is he afraid of the Satan or the devil more so than he is God? It must be. If you like what the Muslims are doing, or the purpose of what the Muslims are doing, if you like that, why don't you lend your energy to that? And if something is wrong, why not make it known to those that you think can do something about it? It may not be wrong. It may be that you are perceiving it in a wrong way. This man stayed here 40 years. And it makes no difference if you're Catholic, Buddhist, or whatever. If you don't know the history of Elijah, you can never come to know definite. You got to know one first. You got to know. If the child don't know the mother, they can forget about knowing the father. If you don't know the mother is first as far as the child is concerned. And the messenger was styled as the woman standing on the moon, clothed in the sun. Meaning that he was married to me, the light. Clothed in it. A woman bringing a message to all of the children or the tribes of the planet. Now, what would make you think that I will go through and cause a man to suffer your ignorance because he agreed to be with me and deliver the truth to you before the execution of the truth comes? That I would take favor into you or showing you some type of favor, and you did not favor my messenger. These things are already written. It's written in the Holy Quran as a prophecy. The hypocrites and the disbelievers, which so many of you disbelieve that I am Allah for whatever reason that you want to disbelieve it. However, I'm bringing about a situation that's going to make you bite your fingers, your own fingers, in intense grief for not listening to the messenger or heeding what I'm doing. I don't mean to bring this as a message of condemnation or a threat to you. However, we're living in a time that this type of activity is going to increase. Those that are with me will experience bliss, happiness, knowledge, power. You're going to experience that if you haven't already in degrees. Those that are not with me and you think you have no right for me to even ask you to be with me, this is what is in store for you. You can't change it. The die is set. You can't change it. So it makes no difference how strong the preacher goes through his emotional deliverance to you of what he thinks. We were speaking this morning concerning the Bible that my grandson seemed to think was so holy and pure, and I showed them that this is King James's version. So they said, what is a version? I said, what is a vision? They said, well, what you see? I said, so this is what King James said he see. But you want to take it as that this is what God said. That ain't what this book says. So when it's time for me to actually come up as God and do what I'm supposed to do, what is prophesied that I would do, if you're in the Bible with no understanding, you lose. And you're my worst enemy. Because you're keeping everybody else in this fantasy land and fantasy thinking. Is this insulting? If I know that you have some TNT in your home and it's going to blow up at a certain hour, and I can't get to it to stop it, and I have access to you, and I tell you, don't go home. Or if I call you at your home and tell you, listen, so-and-so is in the house, it's hidden. You don't have time to find it. Leave. And you say, oh, that's a prank call. But you know me. You know, well, I've never known him to be a liar. He's an upright person. Why would he call and tell me that? That's impossible. There's no bomb in this house. I don't know what's wrong with him. I've told you. When you say that, the wise man knows that this person is ignorant. Why would he be so? Well, this is just as bad or worse. If you do not understand what the Bible reads, you should come to the classes that we have in the United Nations of Islam. And before that, those of you that are visitors that do not have the Messenger's literature, get the literature. I would suggest that you get Message to the Black Man and Our Savior Has Arrived. And if you want to see what's going to happen to America, get a Fall of America. Get it and read it. And we need also to get How to Eat to Live. In the book it talks about the 5 books of Moses. Moses is Elijah. There never was no historical, you can't find it in history where there ever was no Moses. There never was. Never was no Moses. And if Moses was here and supposed to have led the Jews over through the parting the sea and lead them over to the promised land or into the wilderness, you can't find no record of no Jews being led into no wilderness or led out of Egypt. You can't find it. It don't exist. So if that don't exist, where does the Moses come from? However, there were a people that we had to go get from the hills and caves of Europe. And we sent a man by the name of Musa to get this man out. And look what he's done to us since we brought him out. Of course, we planned it. We taught him some of the knowledge that will make him a master over us. And the knowledge that he has are knowledge of tricks. I know when I was asking and talking to the scientists, are you listening to me? Yes, sir. Here's people that rule the planet and universe. They came and got me. I didn't go get them. Matter of fact, I knew they existed, but I had not even the foggiest thought in my mind that I could summons one, that I knew where they were, that I would ever even talk to one. I hope you're listening. They came to me and started telling me things, and I started listening. I said, man, this is heavy. So I asked them about white folks. I said, white folks is pretty smart. I mean, we going to be able to overtake them? They said, well, didn't you listen to what the messenger said? Yes, sir. So you don't think? I said, well, yes, I believe we are. Well, they got quite a bit of knowledge. The one that was speaking with me looked and kind of smiled. He said, they only have knowledge of tricks. I'll say it again. This government that we're living under now, the people that rule it, the extent of their knowledge is tricks. The black man don't know tricks because he don't need them. He knows the truth. So therefore, when you are taught, you teach the truth. When he teaches you the trick. The trick of it is this. You never heard that expression before? When he teaches you, here's the trick. Not the truth. So they were telling me, this man has taken what we have done and turned it back on us and put a trick in it. So much so when I come to stand before you, if I go on a TV program and I'm speaking things that is irrefutable, you can't refute it. And they call in and say asinine things. They're really tricked. What would be the best agent that we see today to actually trick our people? Not trick white people. If the Jewish man tricked his own brother, hey, so what? They're two tricksters. But the original man, the man with the nature of God, the man with the nature of right, what must be used on him to keep him dead? Never to wait as long as this is on him. To trick him about his own self. I think. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Most of you all don't live with me, so you don't know my everyday daily activities as being a human. So when I speak with you or I share anything with you, I have to do it in a way where it's mental and give you a mental picture so you have some type of reference that you can draw upon to give any type of credence to it. Well, this is just as bad. As far as miracles are concerned, I do it almost minute by minute. Because to me, it's natural. It's a lot of things I would like to share with you and tell you. But since you don't live with me and I don't have the time to explain it to you after I tell you some things, I just don't tell you until I do some more things. I got to build the house a little bit more before I invite you in, so I can start pointing out to you what's in this room and that room and why it got to be that way. How many of you all have read about what I would be doing as title of Solomon, under the title of Solomon in the Bible? If you haven't read it, and you will see where I have the knowledge of every cubic inch in building of the house, the outer chambers, the outer court, the inner chambers, inner court, everything, what's laid on it. If I got that knowledge and got the power to do it, why wasn't it already done? If anyone else has it, why hasn't it already been done? Why is it waiting for me to do it? You think about it. And this Solomon, by being the bestowed son of David, I'm to build a house that's unseen. And then from the house being unseen that I'm building, those of you that actually be a part of the house will bring the seen house about. In other words, I'm to build your thinking. If I build that right, then there's no end to the house, because you are going to perpetuate creation. Do you understand? Yes, sir. There is a need for you all to know me. You need to know. If you know me not, you've already lost. And this is written, I came and got the lost one, not the ones that were already found or were never lost. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Well, I see it's already 3 o'clock. I don't want to hold you all here until 5 and 6 or whatnot. Does anyone have any questions of me that you would like to know? We get in a little knowledge. And keep in mind that you're speaking to Allah, or the Supreme Being, or God, or the Jesus Christ, or Joshua, meaning just his will. I want to have positive. If you want to talk to me, it don't have to be like God, peon, or great little. We just speaking, family, father and daughter, father and son. Would you like it that way? Well, what is it that you would like to know that would make you a better person? What is it that you would like to know that would give you power that you don't have? Or do you even think that way? I know what I want. I want to see you God again. I want to see you bright. I want to see you moving. I want to see you having no need for me. You think, well, I'll never grow where to have no need for God. That's not so. If I teach you how to do what I do, like the father teaches his son, the son really has no more need for his father other than that he can glorify in what his father has produced himself with his father. To let you know, if his father passed, he's not going to die. I don't care how much you love his father. He ain't going to kill himself and jump in the grave with it. He goes on. Is that right? Yes, so if I teach you to be like me, one day you're not going to need me. Because what I'm doing, you do the same thing. That is what you need. Right now you need me to share this with you. After I share it and you explore it and you grow in it, then you don't need me. I can lead like it is written. Solomon, they had in the Bible that the Lord was, Solomon was in disfavor of the Lord, so he had to go. He was exiled. That's the trick from King James Version. The truth of it is, Solomon did such a perfect duty. He had to give this back to the original one that created it and leave and go to deal with his own creation. If I'm a new God, I don't own this. The original God owns this. I'm just here to perfect it for him, and I got to go. As far as miracles are concerned, I do it almost minute by minute. Because that's his own. So the first person I should bless is me. Make something of my own. However, I am a very understanding and passionate God. And I'm passionate towards the truth. And here's a God that created all. However, there's something that came with his creation that bugged him. It plagued him. Gave him a headache. So I come with the aspirin. I said, that was giving you a headache has no effect on me. I'm going to remove that for you because I love what you've done. And I love what you're doing. I love you. He says, I'm going to show you that you can't outlove me more than I love you. I'm going to give you my best. So that you will have the best to work with. And when you finish and you leave, I just hope that I'll be able to come visit you sometime in your place. This is God and God talking. You might say, well, he's making that up. Sound good, don't it? But it's not made up. If I come to work to your house to do something for you and you own it, we must have a conversation. You got to tell me what you want. If you don't know what you want and I come and tell you what is wrong, because a lot of times you go to somebody's home and you go to ride in somebody's car, they're just riding in it, and to them everything is fine. You listen. You hear that? And they say, what? You didn't hear that? No. Why has the car been running? Oh, it runs good. Then right after they said, the wheel fall off. They didn't hear. They didn't know nothing was wrong. But you got in and showed them what was wrong. Now, if it's really wrong, you say, oh, you better stop this. Stop the car, man. Stop the car. They stopped and said, what's wrong? What's wrong? The wheel is about to come off. Well, how do you know? I could hear it. I could feel it. Open the door and get a look. That is almost off. You see? This is the same thing with this. What would you like to know from God? Even if you don't see me as God, ask me like you would like I am God. You need to know. You need to know. Am I frightening you all? You're not under no spell here, are you? I won't say I do best. I try to say what I would like to see you doing in a way where it really means something to you and you start to apply it. I say the same thing over and over and over in many different ways so that you still get the point. However, when you come to see God, it's not like you shouldn't have in your mind that you come in to hear a lecture. I haven't raised you up high enough now for me just to tell you what I want and leave you. I'll tell you some of what I want, and then I want you to tell me some of what you want. This way it allows me to be God to you right away. Some of you need healing. Some of you just need to know that you talk to me. Yes, sir. Those of you that do have questions, we have a mic there that you can come up and talk with me. And we should enjoy ourselves. I'm not going to threaten you. I'm not going to hurt you. Since you did put forth the energy to come, I appreciate that. So you may talk with me the way you would like. I just ask you to be respectful. That's all. So do we have anyone who want to speak? You want to speak to me, brother? Yes. There's a mic there. You may come in.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Would I be able to ask you, sir, about the essence of the name Jamal?
Well, yes, sir, you may. But those type of questions I would like today because let me tell you what happens, what I do when you ask me those type of questions. It's like a dictionary, and you ask the person, well, what does God mean? Then you take the dictionary, you got to look up, go to the G. Then you go down and see G-O, find that, and you go down until you find it. Then you read it. When you ask me your name, that's exactly what I do. I have to go back into the script, find it, and then I read it. You see? And it takes a little time. Not that I won't. However, since we already have someone named Jamal, it means you're a jewel to us and to all. As his own. So the first person I should bless is me. Make something of my own. However, that's great. All these other names tell what degree of godhood that you are, if you accept the name. You know, so if you're a Jew, that's fine. However, if you God, that covers everything. I'm God. Is it?
Yes, sir. The other question is, it was reported approximately 2 weeks ago. My thought is that it was in the California atmosphere.
About the comet?
Comet that had was descending towards the Earth, and as it was reported on CNN, comet was descending upon the Earth, and it miraculously, to the reporters, changed directions and re-exited the atmosphere. It was also stated that this is impossible, and however, they theorized that it was possible.
So what are you asking me?
Could you explain that comet as they reported it to be?
So you all like to know the natural wonders. Why it's a wonder? You know, we can do what we want to do. And it's no wonder to us, and it's very easy. You know, if we bring a ship in, even if we hurl a piece of fragment that's still floating in space from the bursting away or the blasting away of the moon from the Earth, we got big chunks still floating in space. Big chunks. Yes, still floating in space. You know, it didn't just, when we blasted the moon away from the Earth, it just went in one hunk and the other hunk stayed here and there was nothing. No. You know, it's like when you hit a walnut with a hammer or something. Pieces fly everywhere. But since it's in space, they still got to stay in some type of orbit. Or they got to be in some type, well, it's still orbit, regardless of how wide and how long the orbit is. Now, we also have spacecraft. Since all the planets and everything belongs to us, we should be able to go and visit them when we please. Now, we can make it appear as something that is a fragment or comet. The spacecraft can appear to be that way. Because some of them look real rough. They don't look polished at all, the ones that is made. However, we got a few people in California that we are dealing with, and the brown man is there working on a secret project. Did you all know that? You know that Japanese man is in California? And he's working on a project. He's got some land and everything from white folks, and their deal is that white folks don't bother them, don't even ask them what they're doing. Well, I won't get into that. You know, the brown man helped quite a bit in the building of the mother plane. How many of y'all saw the documentary or the biography of Minister Farrakhan last night, or Lewis? That's all? Well, you know, they were speaking on there about the plane, and I'm not going off the question. They were speaking on there about the mother plane, and the way they were talking, the brothers were talking, as though the minister is a nut. You know, in other words, they used what he gave about that against him, as though that type of thing don't exist. That is the teaching of an occult thing. Our people said it was black people saying it.
Yes, sir.
They're in terrible shape. Knowledge, you know, when you like say they die for the lack of knowledge, not because it wasn't sent to them. I'm going to rejoice in getting rid of them. You know, it's like wearing a pair of shoes and they feel good, and you wear them and wear them, they feel better and better and better, and they feel good. After a while, they get a great big tear in them. You take them to the shoe repair, they ask the guy, I say, well, can they be repaired? He says, man, they were some good shoes. I don't know what you did to them. I can't repair them. You take them home, you try to wear them anyhow. Because they were just good shoes. After a while, you come to your senses. And you say, well, look, the shoes were bought to wear and get rid of after they wear out. These shoes are work. Throw them away. The black man is here. He's dead. I raised up a messenger to teach you for 40 years, to wake you up. Only a few of you woke up. And the damnable part about that, after you woke up and we... All these other names tell what degree of God run your home and scare you to death and tell you how stupid you was for ever going with the messenger. Am I telling the truth?
Yes, sir.
In my house, I taught my children. If they didn't want to be taught, there's the door. I don't care if you're 2 years old or 50. You're going to hear this. And you're going to do this in this house. And the ones that stayed with me in the house, I had many houses. Because every time I tried to enforce it, somebody came and put me out. They did. You see, I'm getting off the road. However, we do what we please. I won't go into that, what happened out there, whether it was a spaceship or a meteorite. It took place just that it took place, and they can't find no answer to it. It's good enough for me.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to tell them. They listen. You know, the brother was explaining to me, and I hope you all are listening. Because we're just talking. I hope you didn't come here to hear no sermon. You're talking with God. I'm telling you about me, what I do, how I do it, and how I see things, and how I want things to be. Brother was talking to me. He looked at me on the screen yesterday on the television, and what he saw was the posture of God. If anyone else was looking for it, they would have seen that it was God. If he saw it, what did the wise man of tricks see? You can't trick somebody unless you got the truth. If I don't have the truth of what I want to trick you about, I can't trick you because I don't even know it. I have to know something about what you know or don't know and you want to know it. I got to know the truth of it and know how to change it in such a way that I trick you before you find it out. You listening?
Yes, sir.
I'm feeling lonely. I just want you to know, white people is looking, they see me. You all are sitting up calling in and making all kind of nasty remarks. They sitting back and say, oh, he's here. He's here. They calling their friends now. I know why the plane didn't land in LaGuardia like it should. Why it rained hard the way it did, whatnot. And if these dumb black people keep talking to him like that, we're going to have to do something about that. Because them dumb black people is bringing our destruction about. But it's a reaction from what they did. Oh, yes. You may think that white people was against the messenger and they wanted to kill him. No. They went and protected Elijah. If Elijah went someplace or whatever it is, wherever he go, it was the FBI and the CIA was right there protecting him. Make sure no dumb black person will go up and try to kill him. Because they knew if the black person was successful, Allah had promised that he's going to take the white man out. And the white man said, oh no, you ain't doing nothing to this man. And they made sure that they protected Elijah. This is in the books. White folks will tell you this themselves. So if he wasn't nothing, why would they go through such pain to make sure that nothing happened to him? Every other man, they killed him. They killed Malcolm, the one you love so much. They killed Martin Luther King, that you was in love with. And not one of y'all did nothing to them. But both of them are dead. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Not one of them said what Elijah said. And as long as Malcolm was saying it, nothing happened to him. When he changed it, poof, he was gone. And those of you that love the Quran and love Prophet Muhammad and love Islam and al-Islam, you out of time. You're an insult and a stench in my nostrils. I'm saying it for those that will hear it on the tape. You really are. You're a hindrance to man and a hindrance to life. And those of you that are 5%ers that think so much of Brother Clarence, 13X, if you really look at it, you learn the math, what you say he taught. If you look at it, the messenger was here. You cannot find in history, no time in history where I raised up two people at the same time. Just for the mere fact to stop confusion. If I'm going to have Elijah as the messenger, Brother Clarence comes up, he's Allah. But both of them is here at the same time. Run your home and scare you to death and tell you how stupid you was for ever going with the messenger. If he had came after the messenger passed and said he was, then it might be possible that could happen. But not while the messenger is here. Is that right? Yes, Malcolm said, by any means necessary, which some of you are going to be saying in a few days because you still think you don't believe it. I got to get out of this mess I'm in by any means necessary. And I'm telling you, hey, all you got to do is come be with me. Well, how do I do that, God? How do I come and be with you? Come to the temple. Get the tapes and start opening up your mind so that you can hear what really is. That's how you start to be with me, and then I will take it step by step and bring you to where you should be. Is it something else you wanted to say?
Actually, I had a question about the 5%ers, Father, and you just answered. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I would love to greet you in the capacity what you say you are. I haven't come to ridicule you or to speak any bad words like they did yesterday on television. But I have come to acknowledge you as you've just mentioned earlier on, God in flesh. Now, it's not every day and every minute that you come across a human that make the claims of being God. So I would love to acknowledge your claim, and hearing the authority you use without shame or without any hidden agenda. And another thing is this, that I see there's a difference between yourself and the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. What I would love to ask of you, Brother Solomon, yesterday when this particular Muslim or Arabic Muslim asked you concerning the Arabic language, you gave him a favorable and feasible answer that God has made you an Englishman and that you should teach the English language to your people. What I would want to know is that why, just earlier on, you said that the Prophet Muhammad or who else, that time is finished. I believe it's your time and the time of those that are releasing the same consciousness as yourself. So, why is the salutation still used as Salam Alaikum?
That's the question.
Because it's Arabic. And also the moon and the star, which is also related to the Arabian nationality.
Okay, that's a very good question. He wants to know why, since I made a statement about Arabic language, why do we still use the Arabic tongue as far as a language, as far as giving each other the greetings or peace of Assalamu alaikum. That's Arabic. That's saying peace in Arabic. And also why are we using the flag with the If he had came after the messenger passed and said he was, then it might be possible in it, except ours. It's not that I'm teaching English. I'm teaching our people back to their nature in the language that they're speaking, which is English. I'm not in love with English. It's a bastard language, and it really promotes negative. That's what's giving me such a hard time raising my people up, because it's in them. The Arabic language, I developed it for the Arabs because of their nature, to make sure that they had the best opportunity to do right if they would. So I perfected Arabic language in such a way that it had to be spoken in gender in the way of truth and falsehood, male and female. However, our people is not that way. This was a language that I perfected for a man of the nature of wrong or sin. That would help him if he would want to be right and be in my favor when I come, or be a Muslim son. He can't be a Muslim because he don't have the nature of it. He can be a Muslim as far as being in the spiritual or a spiritual part of this, not by nature. So I give him a language to help him. This is why this English language you have, it suggests everything against right. The Arabic language don't. Now, it's no need for me to go and stay into that. I'm not in Arabia. I perfected that. And remember what is written in Arabic language to the Arabs of that region or that time. It reads that I have now, this day, perfected my favor. Not my duty, not my will. This day I have perfected my favor to you. So it's a favor that I did because their nature didn't warrant that I had to do that. This is out of the goodness of my own heart and my own will that I put forth to them something that is going to actually help them to be right if they would do it. And they wouldn't have to put forth much effort if they would just do it. Then I gave them certain times to pray to stay in accord with the language, so that their nature wouldn't override the time and take them back into darkness again. But our people are the Arabic language. We are the right people. So this, when I say salam alaikum, we don't say what the devil says, hello, although that's true. Hell is low. We offer them bits and pieces of our own nature until I bring about the new language. So when we say assalamu alaikum, it means peace be unto you. That's what we are actually offering them. And we can't, like some people say, peace. That's you saying peace, but it is not peace. Just the sounding of it, it's an explosion there. Peace. The very word itself is not peace. So when you come, assalamu alaikum, that really is peace. So we haven't found anything yet that's better than that for our people. That is a simple thing. So we go with that, if that answers the question. And as far as the flag that we go under, this flag here is designed specifically for the God himself. It has a crescent on it, part of the moon, that's at a right angle, showing that this is a new moon, meaning that this is a new God on the scene. New. The whole flag is covered with the light of the sun, or the redness that represents the sun, and that means freedom. Freedom. Nobody else has a flag like that that's all red, because they don't have complete freedom. They don't have freedom. The man that we allowed to live for 6,000 years and rule everybody ruled it with tricks, so he couldn't come with freedom. He gave you stripes of it. Like you have an American flag. You got 7 stripes of red. Rest of it is white. Then you got the blue with the stars in it. The star represents justice. We have in our flag, meaning that the stars in the heaven represents justice, meaning you can't get out of the light, meaning that you always be free if you got the knowledge to do that. So we have the star in our flag representing that. It's new, it's freedom, and we're justified for having it, and the right people to have it. That's what that means. Now, we see a 5-pointed star. That's because we are starting at where the devil is. The more points you have on a star, the more justice you have. You know, we used to have 16 points on it. When you get to that type of justice, that means you're fine-tuned in your thinking. So if the person blinked the eyelid at the wrong time, you can bring judgment down on them if you want to. They broke the law. But you can't. Well, as the Bible reads, if I bring about that type of law now, the sin, except ours. It's not that I'm teaching English. So we do these things in part. If we accepted it in whole, then that's not new. If I come and say, well, I'm going to speak Arabic, and you got to read the Quran because that's the best book going, well, and it is the best book except the 5 that the messenger wrote. Until the messenger had the 5 books wrote that he had written, the Quran was the best. When the messenger had, our Savior has arrived, message to the black man is just the fact that the literature lets you know who everybody is better than the Quran. The Quran don't tell you who the black man is. It don't tell you who the white man is. It don't even tell you who the jinn is. You got to figure it out. Elijah was raised up by Allah himself, proved who the black man is, who the jinn is, who the white man is, and everybody else proved it. But the man of tricks come along and say, if you accept that, and you haven't built no heaven on your own, you're foolish. So what you say? Oh, I'm not going with that. That's an occult. I don't mean to keep you standing, but I hope that answers the question. You got some more?
No, you do answer my question. I just have another question.
Yes, sir.
Is there a difference between the teaching of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan and yourself? Because what I notice is that, let's come down to the earthly realm, to matter, time, that you wear a bow tie, they wear bow ties, they wear nice expensive suits, and you wear nice expensive suits, and they sell bean pies, and your group sell bean pies. So what is the difference, and why is it like this? That doesn't it cause a confusion perhaps amongst the public in general, because impersonation causes confusion. So can you clear that up for me, please?
Oh, absolutely. That's a wonderful question. The impersonator is the minister. The idea to bring about the salvation for our people originated from me, this entity that you see, not the body, but the entity that's speaking with you in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. The messenger did his duty well. He got a nation started. I didn't ask him to do that. He just took on his own self the power of the message and put it to work to see if it is true, if it is any power in it. And by doing it, it produced a nation, small but a nation. However, the nation was powerful because it produced a nation within the powerfulest nation on the earth. Now, follow me. After this was done, the express purpose of the messenger even being a messenger to deliver a message was to attract the real man, the original man. From what he said was to attract your nature. And if you answered it, he didn't say it's you or you or you. You answered it from your own nature. This lets us know who is the cream of the planet Earth. The one that answered by their nature shows that that's the cream. Now, when it got to be time to be tested, there was one that had a very good ability to speak across the air and airwaves. So we allowed this person, since they had gone to school and learned how to do this from white people, to make sure that he could speak eloquently and remind us and them of the message. In the process of doing that, Minister Farrakhan never built nothing other than the $5 million restaurant. The Final Call building, he didn't build that. It was already built. It was a funeral home. The palace, he didn't build that. The temple, he didn't build that. The bean pies, he didn't make that. The bow tie, he didn't make that. The good suits, he didn't make that. The beautiful shoes, he didn't make that. So therefore, anyone that comes up behind him could not be no imposter, because the message that he resounded was too clear, would leave no room for no imposter. So I, being on the scene today, is not bringing confusion. I'm coming in confusion that he permitted, allowed, and promoted. So we do these things in part. If we accepted it in whole, I did this. It's my idea about the good suit. It's not expensive. It's good. The shoes are not expensive. They're just good. I haven't got to the expensive yet. I'm not wearing any silk like he does. However, the bean pies and the things that you see us doing here and what's being taught, what I'm teaching is freedom. I'm teaching absolute truth and the method of it. So you don't see me as no leader and you have to follow me. Because if I'm going wrong and you follow me, I fall over the ditch, you're going to fall too. However, if I give you the light like I got, whenever you move, you turn it on and shine, you move according to your own safety. You see what I'm saying? So what he's doing, he's teaching a self-aggrandizement teaching. Everything, and it's written in the Bible and in the Quran, everything is Lewis. Everything is Lewis. So much so when the messenger did come back, or Moses did come back, he went and asked him, why is this? Everything I see is you. You didn't feed my sheep. Why not? And the first thing he did was blame the sheep. Well, you know they mischief. They love mischief. And they made me. It's in the Bible. And we can see that today. The thing that I see that Minister Lewis is doing that is most repulsive to me, being Allah, is that he's making everybody to think that white people is more powerful than me. I hope you listen. I hope you listen. When he expresses what Allah wants or what Allah does, which he don't do that no more, he's constantly talking about what white folks is doing to us, as though they have the power to do it, and you don't have a damn thing to say or do about it. You just have to go with it. Because the man brought the dope in your community, oh, I got to take it. I got to. As long as he's doing it. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference between he and I. What I'm teaching you and sharing with you actually makes you free, and I help you be that way, and I protect you, and I'm building a nation, a righteous kingdom. What he is doing is condemning a man that we made to be bad. So that's the difference.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. God bless you. Thank you. Did you all understand that?
Yes, sir.
I hope you do. And those of you that are already with me, study as fast as you can and as thorough as you can, because soon you're going to have to take the weight like I am. There's going to be brothers and sisters that's coming that has now found out that they have been tricked, they have been played, they have been duped. Now, we are working out into Kansas, and some of the people are coming, letting us know, I'm so glad that you're not with Lewis. Because what he has done, he's sucked the neighborhood dry. He hasn't done nothing for our people. These are the lost found saying this. They're saying, we're glad. First, they seem not to hear that we are the united. They just hear nation of Islam. And we've been having somewhat of a time to try to get into with the people. Then they find out, oh, united? Oh, you're not with Lewis? No, we're not. We've told you. I didn't know that. Everything is like a whole burden comes off of them. Like they light up. You see them flowers that actually grow in the sun. Like that's the way they act. I'm so glad. Then they listen. Then they start telling us all the things that they got that they want to help us. You see? So that's what is happening. In the book, in Ezekiel, it's written there that he made the hearts of the righteous sad. Oh, I won't go into that. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Father, I made an observation during the Olympic Games. It was quite some time, and it was very up in the air as to who was going to light the torch. And when everybody was surprised and delighted and whatnot, when it was Muhammad Ali that lit the Olympic torch. And I saw a sign in this, Muhammad Ali being one that had come up under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he's from the family of God in that sense. And the manner in which it was done, the fire went upward on a cable like fire in the sky. And And I saw that as a sign, perhaps for the wise, as to things to take place. And I wonder if you might comment on that, or is there anything?
Not really. You can make it a sign based on your own knowledge. I did this. It's my idea about the good suit. It's not expensive. It's good. It is a sign that was there that is from me. Is that this man still has a curse on him. He still has not submitted. Now, it's more men, it's more people in the world know Muhammad Ali than they do Clinton. The name Muhammad Ali, everybody knows it. But some of us here in this country don't even know that Clinton is the president. You can go into Tennessee and get one of them back hill, one of them boys, the rednecks, what you call, and ask them. They won't know, but they know Muhammad Ali. So when he ever decides to change and I take it off him, that might be a miracle that they see, to help them to see that this man is genuine. Other than that, the miracle was, or the sign was, that here he is, even in his sickness, they still honor him for what he did under the name of Elijah. Nobody has been able yet to surpass what that man did. This man came out and said, I'm going to do something in so-and-so time, and did it. The rest of them come and say, well, I'm going to try. I'm going to work hard. I'm not an individualist. I'm a team player. And, they make sure that they don't single themselves out. This man come and say, I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm going to knock him out in the third round, and talk booby behind him. And third round, come knock him out. Now he comes up. They lighten the torch for all sports activity to take place, and they make him the final catalyst of that, or to make him the outstanding figure. Before it gets started, let the master set it off. So that's the sign. He's still living. He's still waiting. However, the people that fooled the brother, that got to him, closer to him than what he allowed the messenger to get to him, messed him up, which is the messenger's son and some others that was around him. Herbert is a bastardly man. And I don't care if you go tell him. I told him myself. And his rotten brother Elijah Jr. is a bastard. And when you turn somebody away from what is right, knowing that you're doing that, and here's a man, just because this man was your father, and you think you have a right to do what you want to do because he's your father and say what you want to say, and you're going to ignore the source of his power, you are crazy. If this man, if you his son, and you know he was eating peanuts, he was so hungry, or eating a peanut hull, sleeping on a dirt floor, after he met Elijah, or after he met Master Farad Muhammad, Elijah slept in a one-room place on a dirt floor, had no food, and ate the peanut hulls. Now, some of his children know that. And they watched him come from a third-grade education and didn't really complete that. They watched this man come up to stand before the world, and they couldn't do nothing with it. They seen a house constructed by some scientists that even the people that was constructing it were saying that to Elijah, you're doing it wrong. You ain't supposed to build this palace. That's against the building. He said, you do it that way anyhow. They know this. Then they take a man that Allah made right, a man that Allah made swift, a man that Allah made the physical champion, and turn him away from his God. Now he's walking around speaking as though Islam and Prophet Muhammad is it. Well, if Prophet Muhammad is it, where does Allah come in?
That's right.
Enough of that.
Perhaps connected with that, would you, for us, talk about the remnants, the reason for I looked up remnants in the dictionary, and something left over. It didn't have something positive really connected with that. As far as the dictionary, we understand that. Would you go into for us the word, the remnants, and how it applies to the elect?
Well, yes, sir. The remnants is, Elijah was the mother. And the mother was absolutely perfect in the eyes of God. It was the apple of his eye. So much so that he said, listen, I'm tired of them children messing with you. Come on, baby, let's go. He took it and left the remnants, which is the seed or the children. Now, it is only right that the children, if they're going to be where he is, it would be the children because they know him best. Even if they stepped off for a while and have to come back, they can at least come back. But those that were not his children can't come back because they never were. So it is the remnants, the main force or the main object was taken away. And the main object is worth more than all of the remnants. So it's lesser. So we describe it as being the remnants. So that's what it means. And the word itself doesn't imply good or bad. It just tells you what was the sign that was there that is from me. Is that this man still has a curse on him. He still has not submitted.
So thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I'm very nervous, Father.
That's all right.
This is the first time I've ever been in the House of the United Nations of Islam. I'm very glad to be here. I'm very happy. I've been treated very warmly since I've been here. I was asked to give you the greeting. My mother is a captain of yours in Los Angeles. And
Want to come closer to the mic?
Yes, sir. Sister Martha. And
Oh, you from Jersey?
yes, sir.
Oh.
And I'm really overwhelmed. I really am. I had a question. However, in listening to you speak and listening to Mother speak, you both have answered my questions. So the best thing I thought in coming down was to ask a sister to come with me, and she did come with me. And I'm just very anxious to hear what she has to say in terms of the things that she's heard as well. But I just wanted to give you a greeting and to thank you for coming out. And 2 hours was nothing to come to hear you speak. I'm very happy.
Thank you. Walaikum salam. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
Would you share with us the meanings of the 13 different tribes?
What are the meanings of them? Well, to put it bluntly, I'll do this real quickly. Each tribe has an ability, or not an ability. Each tribe is an attribute or some attributes of God or Allah. They are that. It's not that they know it or try to ascend to doing something perfect. Each one, say if we have a tribe of justice. These people, that's what they are. They only deal in that and that's all. Not that they don't know anything else. They may know many things. However, what attracts them to make everything in a balanced manner, they are justice. And that's what they operate in. If you want to know, well, whether you're right or wrong about a particular matter, or if the scales are balanced and whatnot, you go to these people. You can't figure it out. And that's what they do. They actually do that. It's like like the 13th tribe. I constantly speak about that. I'm not going into the names of the tribes and giving you that. I did that a couple of times before. I may be on some tape. That takes a little while to explain it. However, the essence of it is the 13th tribe, all we do, when I say all, or the most, or the outstanding thing that we do, we have the capability, I want to say capability. We are most comfortable always in the unseen, looking at what is or is not, or what should be. And we go over it in our mind or in the unseen to see how it will fit or will relate to what already is. Now, when we can make it fit with what already is, then we bring it out and tell it to someone that thinks. Now, the person that thinks can give us the details of how it can actually happen. Then when that person does that, then we come with the 12th tribe to actually rule over that. In other words, each tribe does something of that nature, from the tribe number 1 all the way up to tribe 13. I won't go into what everyone is. We have 100 attributes, and each attribute usually is explored or expressed in 10 different levels. In 10 different levels. So if you get to 10, you got 100. And if you notice, this world only goes to 9. They say 10 digits, but 0 is 1. You can't really count it. You got to recognize it, but you still really can't count it. So you got 0 until 9, that's 10 digits. So they say we had 99 attributes until the new God showed up. Now it's 100. Am I confusing you? Just think on it. Get a tape and think on it. Each one of those attributes is divided up into tribes. If you read about Solomon, you'll see where it's really supposed to be on this planet, 13 months in a year, 28 days in every month.
So thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. One of the tribes took care of Solomon's affairs or his expenses, what it would take for him to run his business. Have you all read that? Leaving one for my own self. In other words, I'm still one. So 1 month out of the 13 months, I conduct my own affairs, meaning that whatever I need, I got to spend it of what I already got. Out of that, instead of y'all giving poor treasure, what you call, well, we're going to give poor treasure because Father is poor. And I am. It's going to get to a point where you're going to be so healthy and wealthy, that tribe, out of that 12 months or 13 months out of the year, you'll be responsible for 1 4-week period of time to take care of everything that I'm doing. The rest of the 12 months, you don't have to give me a cent. And you're going to be successful because what I'm sharing with you breeds success. I hope I answered a little bit about the tribe.
Yes, sir.
When we get into actual classes, I'll go through the different names of them. And they're not the names what is in the Bible. Levi and Jacob, that's not the names of the tribes that I'm talking about. These tribes that had the names are based on the attributes of what they are, not who family they came from. All right?
Yes, sir.
Something else?
I'd like to know which one I'm from.
What tribe you from?
Yes, sir.
You're from the 12th tribe. You're from the 12th tribe, a tribe of rulers. What is your sign?
Scorpio.
Scorpio. Well, I don't know what you're doing because I haven't looked at just by looking at you to see what tribe you're from. I saw something. And you with us?
Yes, sir.
You need to get a brother that's a friend.
Yes,
Not just a brother. You know, all the brothers in the temple, we're brothers to each other. However, you need to get a brother that will be a friend to you or you be a friend to him. He should be a friend to you. It's something that you'll benefit from it a whole lot.
Yes, sir.
Ain't nothing bad that I see. It's just some things that you need to happen with you that will make you closer to what you're looking for. You want to be a ruler? You are a ruler. However, we got to make something for you to rule. And by the time you get to that, it's some things that you need to develop. And a friend really will help you. If you get a friend, not just a brother. Brother is about doing the same thing you're doing, but if you get a friend, he knows what you know, and he's for what you know. He aids you and helps you. And by doing that, you're going to see a lot of things that's already stored up in you that you're looking on the outside for. Is inside of you? Something else?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. If you all need to know anything, just, ask me. And let me say, no, I don't know. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
You're just speaking to my son Omar. We're from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, yes, sir.
And right now, we're the only two that's with you.
In Pittsburgh?
Yes, sir. And I try to be a friend, but I'm also his father. And I'm his father. And I'm his brother.
Yes, sir.
And I see what you're saying. And we're here wanting to know what we should do to be the mighty men of the FOI.
Well, the best thing that you can do is practice order in everything that you think and do. If you practice that, and if you're going to influence someone else other than your own self, that is within your power, that you have a right to enforce things on, learn how to do it in a balanced manner. In other words, learn how to make them do it without killing them. Because you can come down too hard. Or you can be too soft and they think, well, he's right, but he's a softy. He ain't doing it himself. So it's good to know, but you don't do it. The best thing that a Muslim brother can do as being the fruit of Islam is to be completely in order. Everything that you do is in order. And you get to do it so smoothly, it just happens. I mean, it just happens. The order that you're doing brings about the other order, and nothing is never out of order. If it is, it's so obvious that everything else, you put it in order right away. That's the best thing you can do. Now, what will help you do that is to know why you should do it. If we're going to bring in a righteous kingdom, one of the tribes took care of Solomon's affairs or his expenses. What it would take with doing right, and I know God loves me, forget that. That used to be when I wasn't here. And you try to live right and go to church and see what the preacher says and what the Bible tells you to do, and they take advantage of you. Today, everything that I have created and made up until now, even the devil does things orderly. The more precise he is as being a devil, the more successful he is. If he just do things sloppy, half of the stuff that he's doing, he's not successful. He's only half successful. So that is the thing that you need to do. All of us as being Muslim gods or fruit of Islam, the best of what Islam produces is to be in order about everything you think and do. Now, this don't mean because I said it, tomorrow you go home and say, well, I got to do everything perfect. You messed up. You can't do that tomorrow. What you do is, I'm going to start doing everything that I'm conscious of the best I possibly can. And when you start doing that, that'll lead to something else. And before you know it, you will be in order. And when you do that, it allows other things that is around you that has to be in your presence an opportunity to grow right along with you. If you're selfish and you do it, and then you got yourself together, and then you step out amongst the other people, you messed up. Everybody else is going west and you going east. I hope you all understand what I'm saying. If you go on a fast, some people go on a fast for spiritual reasons, and they go on it for 4, 5, 10, 20 days, 30 days. I know somebody went on for 47 days. And they got so in tune with right, they couldn't step outside. They couldn't go outside. It's so filthy in their mind because they had cleaned themselves so in harmony with what really is. Everything was dirty. They get a clean glass out of the cabinet. They wash and they look at it. Ooh, they got to wash it again. They had gone too far. So that's what the black man has to do. If you begin the principles and the practice of what's right, we will make this righteous kingdom. You'll make it. And I'm with you as you grow. I'm bringing those that want to be right along with you. And we need some sisters that, how many of y'all want to be a wife? Although you're married. How many of you know what a wife is? One day I'll show you. You should really want this. Up until now, you still are affected greatly by the open enemy. You're affected greatly by it. The black man is affected also, however, he's trying to get out. And if you don't understand him, he's still catching hell. If you really understand me, more so than your black man do, if you know how to speak to him like I speak with mother, there's no man stands up to her and don't submit to what she's saying. Because when she speaks to him, if she got to speak to him lovingly, he knows that this is someone that loves me for right and for the right reason, and I should do it. If she got to speak to him, and it's a man because they've done something wrong and they know damn well they shouldn't have done it, and they did it anyhow, she speaks to him, they can't come back. Because they don't see her then as a female. They see, whoa, this is power and authority here. That woman part leaves. If they do look at it for this is the woman I'll give, and they give her to say something, and then they think about what's being said, and well, she might be a woman. Whoever taught her that ain't no woman. You see? So I'm your husband if you want to be like that. I'm not just, she's my daughter, but I'm her spiritual husband. That's why she's mother. I'm father. I gave her a physical husband, but I'm her spiritual husband. And I gave her the best of what we have at this time. And I'm going to make it better. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Father, I've been married to my wife for 28 years. And right now her health is poor. And I ask her if I should ask anything of you. She wants to be whole again.
Is she with me?
She's with me.
Go ahead, then.
And I'm with you. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I got it. Yes, sir. What's her illness?
She was born a twin. Her twin died a little over 15 years ago.
He's with doing right, and I know God loves me. Forget that. That used to be when I wasn't here.
One time, my wife was weighing over 500 pounds and couldn't afford medical treatment and
Damage her organs?
some of them. And she has diabetes now.
What does she weigh now?
She lost over 300 pounds, a little over 2, or close to 3.
Or did she lose it too fast?
No, sir. She's done this over a period of about 15 years.
Her twin was another, she was a sister?
Identical in every way, even with the weight.
And she wants to be whole.
Yes, sir.
You say she's a diabetic?
Yes, sir.
Is she taking insulin?
Yes, sir. And she's so much in tune with me, I can think something and she'll speak it.
Based on what you're telling me. Because it's you telling me. I will help her within, what is it, October? By the end of November, or by the second week of December, she shouldn't have to take no more insulin.
Thank you, Father.
I pray that you all actually stay together so that after this has been achieved, because the way that I do things is so natural, half the time you don't think I did it. Because it's not going to be no joking, no hot flashes. It's just going to happen. If she loves you and you love me, I'm doing this for you. And after that takes place, if she's still with you, I'll take care of the rest of it. I'll make her whole. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. I just want you to share with me, why is the Caucasian always watching us? Like every move we make, is it because of fear, or is it because of the knowledge that they was given? I just need some clarity on that. Why they watch every move that we make?
Well, they know that their time is up, and they know who is supposed to come in time now. They know who's supposed to be the powerful one, and it is you. And especially if it is you've already accepted Islam, and you're going about your daily life, although you may be working on one of their jobs. They watch you to make sure that if there is something to learn, that they learn it. And what they want to learn is the knowledge of God in its fullness, and also where your weaknesses are. If they learn where your weaknesses are, they'll see how powerful you are. Then they play on your weakness to bring you back down to nothing. So they're watching you not out of envy or jealousy. They're watching you out of necessity for survival. They know the dead man on the street selling dope and taking dope. They ain't going to do nothing. They ain't worried about them. However, you can walk amongst them, might be even your brother or your father doing it, but you don't participate in it. And you're speaking about this God and about what has to happen. And you're participating in it. And he's watching you. He wants you to see, he wants to see if you're going to go around the corner and just get a little teeny piece of bacon. Something that he knows that's going against what you say you're in. And if he can find it, then he says, I can let him go as long as he wants to go, but whenever I want to stop him, I got it. That's why they watch it.
Yes, sir. And the second question is, I was speaking to my wife. She's back home, and she was sharing, she watched the documentary last night on Minister Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
And what I want to know is, did Minister Lewis or Farrakhan, did he actually ride in a ship with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, or was that a vision, or did he actually had contact with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad after he passed?
He had the contact as far as being in a vision. What we do, it wasn't necessary. It's not necessary for you all to be taken on the ship. That's not necessary. The one that was necessary for that to be done was myself. Only because I was to be given a little knowledge of everything.
One time my wife was weighing over 500 pounds. And
You can't see them. The other planets, you can't see them. Most of them you can't see. So they take and show me and also give me the experience of what type of knowledge that I already am in that would be able to carry me around the universe, not just this solar system. The universe, show me these things and bring me back within 2.5 hours. Think about it. You get in your car to traffic heavy, you can't even make me here to New York. 2.5 hours. Here they're carrying me 76 quintillion miles in diameter and back, and stopped and showed me many things and bring me back less than 2.5 hours. So the minister, that wasn't necessary for him. However, it was necessary for him to be told in a manner in which he could not ignore it, that his duty was to do 2 things. After that, he could be with them. That was to let him know, don't go ahead and do a whole bunch of things. You wanted to do 2. Now, we went and told him what it was. Well, he didn't accept it. However, the question, to answer your question, yes, it was a vision. And it was told to him in such a way where he would have to respect that it was the messenger telling him. Matter of fact, to let him know that he himself is not right. When he got up there, he thought he was going to ask the question. After he was afraid to go. And the messenger told him, I didn't bring you up here for that. That's what he said, that the messenger told him. He went to ask the question. He said, I didn't bring you up here for that. And he just let him know what he wanted him to know. So yes, he experienced it in a vision. But he himself didn't go, no sir.
Yes, sir. The last question is, what is the difference? What is the difference in the brothers that are with you right now that accept you, and the ones that come in the last minute and accept you? What is going to be? Is it going to be a difference, or is it going to be all the same?
Oh no, sir. It's going to be a difference because he who labors in the vineyard the longest or first is the one that gets rewarded first. So the ones that come at the last moment and jump in, they got some work to do. They just jumped into some work. And you're the one, you're their taskmaster. But you're a man of justice. They're going to be happy just to have, that they're in, to have something to do. So this is how smooth I'm doing this. We have to build a nation that's righteous. And you can only build it if you can think righteous. So I come out with, yes, I'm Allah. But we're going to start off with mathematical thinking. So you go and you go the same thing. You go to the meeting, and sometimes you say, I'm tired going to the meeting. You didn't talk about the same old thing. But you say, well, you go anyhow, and you get to the meeting, and man, I'm glad I went. Your mind is turning more and more and more. You're getting to thinking better and better and better, and you're getting more and more brighter. Now, you haven't seen nothing that I've done as far as bringing in any transportation, any food. We still talking, right? We're listening at the tapes. Yes, Father is Allah, and you telling everybody else because you know it. But the people you telling, they don't know it. Listen, man, you crazy. What has he done? Remember when the Minister of Icons people, you said that? You tell a man about the fruit of his labor. What has he done? You couldn't point to nothing. You couldn't point to nothing. Others say, well, he raised the messenger, but you couldn't prove it to them. So you couldn't point to nothing. But it's making you think. Right? All right, now, the more you think, the better you get. Now it's coming time where I get some land. We start to grow what we need as far as eating. And the clothes that we need. We grow some cotton to produce our clothes. Now, since you have learned how to think, you don't do that. You may go and start it to get it in motion. But because you can think, that picking the cotton is going to tie you up. You ain't supposed to be picking it. Get the man that ran in at the last minute that don't know how to think. Let him pick the cotton. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm doing, I'm actually building the nation here. Like it reads about it in the Bible. When Solomon built the nation, you didn't hear no hammers. So I'm building this. The nation is you. I'm teaching you how to think. So the other ones making mockery about me and my teeth and how I look. And they making mockery, laughing. They saying it's on TV. But when it gets to the time they got to eat and they can't get no beans but from us, then they're going to say, oh, I'm so sorry I made that statement. What can I do to get close to you, Solomon? You can't. You have to deal with the hem of my garment. Not that I don't want you close to me. You don't have the knowledge to be close to me. It would be like me getting all dressed and see them. The other planets you can't see them. Most of them you can't see. So they take and show ever. That is a necessity. That must be a garbage truck. If not, I'm going to have to take my suit off. Because it's got to be dealt with. Is that right? Well, this is what I'm doing. This is how smooth I'm doing it. It looks like I don't have a whole lot of people with me, but the head is never large. However, it's the head. So that's what's in store for the ones that's coming last or late. They're going to have to take instructions from us that has been here and suffered their ignorance while we were learning.
Yes, sir. Salaam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Salaam alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
I want to touch back on Herbert, and then I'm going to go on with my question. In 1989, October the 8th, I was working security with Muhammad Ali. And we were in a hotel lobby, and Minister Jeremiah always told me, because I told him I wanted to do this, I told him I wanted to always question Herbert as to the evil things that he did through the years that I've known Ali, which is about 15, 17. And we were sitting in the lobby, and I asked Herbert Muhammad, I said, when you met Master Farad Muhammad, did you believe he was Allah in person or Allah himself? He said no, but he had powers about him that confused him and puzzled him. Then I went on to ask him myself, then why did you tell Muhammad Ali the things that you taught him over the years? And then Muhammad Ali looked at me and said, man, you better leave him alone. That's the message of the son. I said, I don't care who he is. I asked him the question again, and he sat and he kept silent, and he finally told me that Master Farad Muhammad used to refer to him as the big head Yaqub. And he said because of that, he didn't like him. And he always held that against him. Then he used to say that Master Farad Muhammad told his sisters or brothers, if you listen to Herbert will have you stand on top of your head. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So he said, that's why I never liked him, but I do bear witness that he had powers. And I told him, I said, well, you're going to pay a deep price for turning Muhammad Ali and telling him the evil things that you did against your father and the other things that you did with women, which I won't go into, yes, that were like Muhammad Ali's first wife. Yes, they refused to submit. And the question I want to ask you is, I just got Muhammad Ali's new address, or the address in Michigan. He's supposed to be leaving from there soon. And I want to send him the tape that you did in Louisville. But I want to ask you first before I mail it to him. Should I send it to him?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, sir, send it to him. And put on that urgent.
Yes, sir. Okay. And his wife, Lonnie, said she was from Louisville also. When I tried to teach her a little bit of the method of teaching, meaning she didn't come up to the nation, Ali told me she don't want to hear that. She don't want to hear that. I said, well, let her hear it because she didn't get what you got.
That's right.
And she needs to hear it.
That's right.
So I want to address the tape for both of them to sit down and should listen to it because it's dealing deep in where their roots are from, which is Louisville.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Do that.
Yes, sir. Second question. When we had the date for New York, when I had set up the Masonic Lodge, the parade, that was going to take place that day, so we had to change it.
Right.
And then when I called back and told one of the brothers at the lodge that I'm going to be bringing the money in that Friday, well, I'm glad you called because we have something that the Eastern Stars have planned for that day that takes precedence over what y'all have planned. I said, but you? He said, we didn't sign nothing. He said, but this is more important than what y'all have planned. I said, well, do you know who came here the last time at the old building? He said, yes, Solomon. I said, do you know who he is? He said, yeah. Y'all said he's God in person. I said, do you think something the Eastern Star is going to have that day is more important than Solomon? He said, yes, sir. In fact, I said, well, do you have another Sunday we can get? No, everything's blocked up. In fact, the rest of the year is closed. So I said, brother, if you expect any blessing to come to your lodge, it won't for what you've done.
You told him right.
Yes, sir.
However, it wasn't the Eastern Star that had it booked up. You know, whoever the Grand Master is, good thing I'm not in name calling.
Yes, sir.
He thinks he's ever. That is a necessity. There must be a garbage truck. If not, I'm going to have to take my... And if he's already let him know that if it is me, he's not going to submit or make it appear as though that he's catering towards what we're doing. So that's what happened. This is why everything that's taking place is up here in New Haven. We're making a new heaven. I'm still thanking New York. You know, I just hope I don't go into a terrible fit when I start doing it. You know, because that was number 7. It still is number 7 of the numbers of the temple. And that's my number. That's where I embraced my own self, was in New York, in 7C. And I seen the potential that was there because I was part of it. Matter of fact, we were doing almost as much in New York City as they were out there in headquarters in Chicago. As far as business and the number of brothers and believers that we had there. When I did go to Chicago and we get a load of papers to bring back to New York, the truck was jam-packed filled with Muhammad speech. Jam-packed filled with it. No other place we did that. We had the Washington, D.C. tractor trailer was filled also. However, it stopped in Toledo, Ohio. It stopped in Cleveland, Ohio. It stopped in Pittsburgh. It stopped in Philly. It stopped in Baltimore. Then it got to Washington. One truckload did those 5 or 6 stops. New York went straight to New York. Loaded, jam-packed.
That's right.
Didn't make no stop, straight to New York. So I know what they can do because I was there. Now everybody there now is so wise and so smart. I got to be crazy. A brother called me up and said, well, yeah, you know, he wants to come on up and he wants to debate with me, or he wants to challenge, go into a friendly challenge of knowledge. Well, that's the wrong language. But New York means, you know, I'm going to jerk him up.
Yes. Excuse me, Father, one other thing. The rumor that particular brother has out is that he scared you from coming to New York.
Well, you know, a lie only has power as long as you give it power. When time shows that it was a lie, then the person that lied has changed forever.
That's right.
You know, he may be feeling good now. However, when the clock comes around and shows the light shines on him and he's the liar, then the people say, I don't have no fear. Even if I could be killed, I wouldn't say, kill me. I'm just gone.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Father.
Yes, sir. However, that can't be done. Yes, sir.
I'm looking, Father.
Walaikum salam.
I just have 2 questions, very brief. One, some time ago you have had to sit down with my family and shared our names and things of this nature. So I would, if you don't mind, could you, the meaning you gave for my name was expression. And could you clear it up for me, what it means?
What do you mean, expression?
Yes, sir. Well, that was the meaning you gave of my name, which is Marcus.
What I'm asking is, you want me to explain what expression means?
Yes, sir, for myself. In reference to
for
my
yourself.
Nature. Yes, sir.
You're one of 10, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, out of all of the 10, you're the one that would be most expressive of the 10. You know, if there's going to be a fight, you be out there fighting harder. If there's going to be a conversation, you speaking the loudest. If there's going to be wisdom and the showing of wisdom, you'll express it more so. In other words, not that your other brothers and sisters are not just as well off as you, but you're the one that will be seen more so than anyone else of the family.
Yes, sir.
And they don't mind, because what you're doing, they don't want to do.
Sure, indeed. Yes, sir. The second question, yesterday you expressed the fact of being in the afternoon of the last day.
Yes, sir.
Could you go into that for us and share what?
Well, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you all can imagine or use your power of imagination, all of the buildings is an expression of ugliness because of the way we are used. Our families are ugly because of your behavior. The air is filthy. It's hard to breathe. The plants that we plant don't grow right because of the soil, the poison. And if he's already let him know that because of the pollution in the water, then the greatest of all, of God himself, is waking up. However, in his waking up, you're God. You're waking him up. And his breath is atrocious. He needs to brush his teeth, his back of his tongue, wash his face, get the slob off him, blow his nose. He needs to do all that because he's just waking up. He's got all of the signs of sleep and death on him. However, you are God. You woke. You're looking at this is the best tool that you have to work with. It's like a mechanic has used your tools. He's got them extremely greasy and dirty and left. You come here, now you have need of your tool. You can't even use it until you wash it off. However, when you go to wash it off, what you're using is dirty. You think about it. Now, there's got to be an end to that type of existence. I woke you up. Now we're living in the afternoon of this mercy time, meaning that it's coming to an end. Now, since you woke, you got to get this stuff off you, get your clothes on, get presentable, so that you can be seen by the world. This is male and female. And go about cleaning up that is around you, that we must have. We must have air to breathe. We must have it. We must have water to drink. We must have it. And as long as we stay in this fleshly body, with this knowledge that we do have, you must eat. Now, we want the best. You got to wake up to do it. If not, the time is going to run out. And by me bringing it in, I'm going to bring it in such a way you're not going to be able to participate in it. That's what I mean about the afternoon of it. If we go with the course of a day being 24 hours, and we split it up into 1/3 or 1/4, what do you get out of that? 8 hours. So figure we're living in the last 8 hours. Our brothers talking about, well, they drove me off because I was afraid. And said in such a way that people believe it. The clock is still ticking. So when the afternoon is gone, and then I say, well, time's up. I gave everybody their time. Now I can finally go. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. The scientists made me teach a family of 10. They made me teach it. And before I went to teach them, before they made that possible, I brought about the circumstances for me to actually do that. The scientists told me, said, now, you're going to have to go to a place that you're not going to like. I said to myself, what could that be? But I thought because they're telling me that I'm going to have to do this, I don't care what happens, I'm still going to come out smelling like a rose because they're telling me this. They said, you're going to have to go and teach these people, and you have to go in a place where you don't like. Well, while they were telling me, I was trying to imagine, what could it be? I'm a very warm-blooded person, warm-natured person. I'm very easygoing. You really got to rattle me up for me to really do something compared to what I see other brothers do. So what is it that I wouldn't like about it? I found out. However, while I was there in a basement, 2 rooms, a bedroom, a kitchen, and a 3-room, bedroom, kitchen, and living room. All of us in that one basement apartment. Couldn't really say it's an apartment. The brother that owned the place, it was a 3-story building. The top story didn't have nobody on it. He could have said, you ought to go up there. It had 2 or 3 bedrooms, kitchen, living room, dining room, had all that. Had nobody in it. We went in the basement. Couldn't go no place else because that's where he let me go to take the other ones. Before it was time to let them go, I was going outside myself. I said, I got to get out of here. Not from no outside force. It was from the people that I had to teach. They was giving me hell. A couple times I said, I'm gone. I'm leaving. I opened the door and step out and something hit me. You can't leave. Get out. I go back in and I said, well, if I stay, I'm going to have to hit somebody. And they said, nope. Make sure you don't touch nobody. Don't hit them. Because of the pollution in the water. Then the greatest of all, nitty-gritty, to find out the power that I have. I got good then. When it did get time for me to leave, I wasn't really ready to go. However, at a time that I was ready to go. So this is the same thing now. As a people, you in the afternoon. And when the time is over with, I'm ready to go. Because now I know where I'm going. Then I wasn't so ready to go because if I left the place, I didn't know where I was going to be living at. But when I left there, I went straight to the palace. Straight to the palace. Stayed there for a while. Brother said, who are you? I said, I'm the person you've been looking for. He said, oh, yeah? Well, yeah, come on in. Let's sit down and talk. Went on and sat down and talked with him. He said, well, will you be? I got to go to the meeting, the Minister Fire Council. Will you be when I get back? I said, yeah, I'll be here. He went and came back. He said, now, what were you telling me? So I got on into it and started telling him a whole lot of things. He said, you saying this place is yours? I said, yeah, this is mine. He said, man, I'm glad it is. I said, but I didn't come to take it just yet. I got something else to do first. He said, well, hurry up. I said, I'll be back here 3 or 4 more times. Okay, I came back 3 or 4 more times. The last time I came, they said it was Master Fard Muhammad there and Herbert again. Herbert. The brother came there and said, he looked like he could have been Master Fard Muhammad. I don't know. But he came and said he wanted to stay there for about a week in the palace in Chicago. And the brother there said, now I'm there. He ain't said anybody to me. The brother says, I got to go ask Herbert. Herbert lived across the street. He came back and Herbert said, no, you can't stay here. You're an imposter and you cannot stay here. So he walked on out. Somebody else is with him. He's riding with him. I walked right behind him. I wanted to hear this. Walked out to the sidewalk by the gate, and they stood up and talking. I was standing up by the gate listening. I couldn't hardly hear what he was saying. He didn't seem to be upset at all. He told the person that he was with where he wanted to go, and the brother that was there with me, that I was with, was trying his best to explain to him. He was pleading. He didn't want that to be on him. He was saying, like, hey, I wish I could. Ain't nothing I can do about it. He's letting me stay here. I'm in college. I'm going to law school. I would, if I could do it, I would let you stay. He was like trying to get it off of him. I'm standing there listening. I said, well, it's time for me to go to this. So I left that night. But it's at the time now. I know where I'm going. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are y'all getting tired? If those of you that did show up, you know, it's amazing how much your enemy has caused you to believe that God really isn't a man. Look how many is here. And some of you come from out of state. And you all went around the whole community and everything, saturated it, right?
Yes, sir.
And some of Louis people and some of these other Orthodox Muslims go down and take their flyers down. Right. As though they have a right. I have a right to do this because no man is Allah. This is shirk or whatever they say it is. And they snatch it down. They call in on radio yesterday, and the woman says, or the sister says, Allah forgive me. But she was afraid to even say it without asking Allah to forgive her, to say that I'm a man, that I'm God being a man. Isn't that foolish?
Yes, sir.
Isn't that foolish? Look how many is here. Place full of black people. Yes, sir.
That's it, Father. Thank you very much. That's what I'm like.
Welcome, salam. Those of you that have some place to go, this is our temple. So I'm really not on a time schedule. I can go a while. So if you do have to go, I'm not offended. If you have to leave and you got something else to do, or you're tired sitting on these seats and whatnot, I won't be offended if you do leave. It's already 4:30, something to 5. And if you've been here since 2 o'clock, we're going into almost 4 hours. So we've got a couple more questions for anyone else. Those of you that are visitors and you want to ask me something, you have the right to do it. You have the opportunity now. I don't know when I'll be back where you can speak to me personally. So you should take advantage of it. And don't think whatever you have to ask me is so small that you don't feel like you should ask it. Or I'm going to think that you are silly or foolish. I know the first time I saw the little ship, I was driving the Muhammad Speech truck. I was coming out of Washington, D.C., no, Baltimore. We went over to the steel place and picked up a load of steel. We got around Frederick just before we got to the bus stop, and there was a concrete place there, factory. And I was riding in the front. No, I was laying in the sleeper. Brother Ernest was driving. Nitty gritty. To find out the power that I have. I got good then when it did get time, 3:30 in the afternoon. Bright, sunshine and everything. I peeped back from the curtain, looked underneath, I seen it. I said, yeah, that's it. And when I saw a flash went zip across the sky, I said, stop the truck, stop it. He stopped the truck. I jumped out. I said, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And just like that, bam, it was there. The little ship, whoa. You know, I seen it when it went over and stopped. When it stopped, I didn't see it no more. When I said Allahu Akbar, as soon as I said the third time, it was there, right in front of my face, about treetop level. Just sit there. I hollered out, give me a ride. I want to ride. Then I thought to myself, they think I'm stupid. I gotta ask you. If they could hear a lot, they way out there. That's what I thought to myself. However, now he's standing beside me. He's saying the same thing. He's whispering his. Give me a ride. Give me a ride. I'm hollering mine. This is true. So I sit there, and it stayed there for a good little while, and I stayed there long enough to know, well, they ain't going to give me no ride. You know, however, I did get the ride. I did get it. And matter of fact, the one that they carried me on was a ship that they created, not made. They created this, meaning that they took energy, and formed it the way that they thought. They wanted it from their thought. In other words, the ship wasn't something that was solid that you can take and break it or bend it. It was energy. And they shaped it the way they wanted, and we got into this ship. And it went, the two brothers that operated it sit and looked at each other, and they operated it from thought. Because thought is the most powerful energy that there is. And the one that spoke to me while they were carrying me around to all these different places, that's why they could go that distance within a short period of time. Because they were doing it from the speed of thought. You hear what I'm saying? And they wasn't doing it from the average speed of thought, 24 billion miles per second. They still on up into the God knowledge, 78 billion miles per second. Per second. So the one that was standing next to me, we were standing, he was speaking to me mind to mind. We never opened our mouth. And I wanted to go, and I was amazed at what the brother was doing. I give her, asked him a question, I said, leave them alone. Yes, sir, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I had about 10 questions to ask you, but I only asked 2. I received my ex under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1967. There was some question as to whether I'm a part of the 144 or whether I'm not. What I wanted to ask you is, when they allowed you to get your letter, to write your letter and get your ex at the age of 13, where does that place me? Well, if they did it, you did it at the age of 13? Yes, sir. That was out of the law of what the messenger had put forth as far as you being capable of writing, responsible for writing your own letter, unless you were living with some guardian parents or some relatives that were not in agreement with what you had accepted. And then this was known to the staff or the messenger, and this way it would be permitted for you to write it, and it would be accepted. Yes, if that's what took place, then yes, you are a candidate for the 144,000. Yes, sir. My mother, you may know my mother. She's from California. She attends most of the meetings. I see to it that she gets to all of the different places. Sister Dorothy from yes, sir. That's my mother. She's here with us. I also brought my youngest daughter. I have another daughter who's 17, and I've been having a problem with her. And I've been listening to the 12-295 tape, which gives a lot of insight as to what to do if children don't want to listen to the tapes, or don't want to do like Father says. You tell them you can't live here. And I've had to lay down the law with her. I asked her several times to come with us today, and she was reluctant to do so. What I want to know You gave me the meaning of her name through Brother Minister Kai, which is confused and to be shown. And what I want to ask you, Father, is what can I do to increase her awareness of what has actually happened? I'm going to get this tape, and I want her to hear it, but I want you to expound on what I can do or what she has to do to see the light.
Well, number one, what gives us always the problem is that the people that we're trying to discipline always have power. Most of the time from you. You give them an allowance. 3:30 in the afternoon. Bright, sunshine, everything. I peeped back from the curtain, looked underneath, I seen it. Listen to whatever music they want to listen to. They look at whatever they want to look at on TV. That's a power that you give them. Now, when you go to bring them in line with what must take place, they say, well, hey, I don't have to listen to you. Put me out. I'll go stay with my friend. It robs you of your ability to discipline what belongs to you. However, since you're with me, all you have to do is tell them. And make sure what you're telling them is right. Yes, and if they come back and tell you, well, listen, that old stuff you into, I don't want nothing to do with it. If you're going to put me out, just give me a day or so. I'll get out. What you do is say, okay. Go ahead out there and deal with Father.
I did that.
Well, then I'll be putting a little more hurt on her.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting angry just thinking about it. You know, here's a child that knows nothing. Or if they do know it, they don't respect what they know. And if you went to them and were telling them about some type of Jim Jones, I could see, yes, they got some type of ground to stand on. If you're telling them about God himself and what must be done and what's expected of them by being your child or your seed or for them to remain in the house, and they tell you and treat you as such, well, let God come on. I can take whatever he gives. Tell him to go ahead. Let him give it to you. And I guarantee you, she might not come back, but every time she see you, she'll back with the Dad, you're right, you're right. Now, if you want to be back, which you should, then I know how to make people do things.
Yes, sir.
However, you're going to have to want it for the right reason.
Yes, sir.
You know, I have some of my own children. Their mother has made a career out of telling them that I'm crazy. And they have adopted that philosophy. And regardless of what they see me do, I'm still crazy. In their mind, I'm still crazy. However, I don't call them. Every time they call me, I'm doing fine. They got a problem. The last one called me and said, Father, will you come down and have a meeting with me and Mom? I said, no. Matter of fact, hell no. I'm not going no place with you and your mother, period, for me to teach her something to use against me. You've been with your father. You already know. You know your mother is an agent for Satan. You happen to be born between two powers. You want to stay with the power that you know is wrong. And you want me to go down with you to have a meeting with her? The only way I will go with you in the presence of her is that you, out of your own understanding, go and tell her, I know that you are Satan. And my father is Allah. If you do that, I go. Other than that, if you cannot, like the Bible said, denounce Satan, forget it. You're wasting my time. I'm not going to spend no money to go down and tell her something that, oh, I'm glad you came. And when I leave, she used all that against me. No. You do the same thing. I do that. And I know they're going to be with me because when I had to leave, the scientist came and told me, you're going to lose your family. But don't even worry about it. We love you so much. Every one of them going to be back with you. Every one of them. They said the only difference between you and Elijah in the hardness of the duty is that Elijah's family wasn't with him. Yours will be with you. And I got to bear witness. As long as I don't run after them and make them think that they're so powerful, now they start to run after their dad. But they're running after somebody that's worthy to be ran after. So that's what I'll do. I'll take care of that as long as you've told her the truth.
Yes, sir.
Because, see, the whiteies done got it now. If you give her one of them backhands on the rump, she calls 911.
Yes, sir.
Then you down there standing up, Here you are, a God-fearing man, a God yourself, and here you is talking to a lesser God about something you did. That makes you really want to kill her.
Yes, sir.
You see? So what you do, I think my daughter read it in the Bible today, where you're not supposed to exercise any judgment like that. It makes the power of Allah cheap. You tell them, Allah going to get you for that. If you want to, tell them when. If you're with me, don't say Allah going to get you and make it a mystery to them. Allah going to get you, and they think, well, yeah, I heard that before. And they think it'll never happen. Tell them, say, Allah going to get you before the day is out.
Yes, sir.
Just speak it, see if I don't do it. Listen to whatever music they want to listen to. They look at whatever they want to look at on TV. That's a power that you give them.
And my daughter, my youngest daughter, had a dream one night, and she says, Daddy, I had a dream. She says, I saw a spaceship across the street hovering above the house. That's all I'm going to say. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Well, looking at you from here, you're from the 12th tribe also. One of the mighty rulers. You know, that may not mean very much now, but it will as things develop. Just saying what tribe you're from, it is the duty and the functions that you do that really mean things. You know, this is the same thing when the messenger comes and raise him up, and he come and tell you, black man, you God. That's something good to know. But then you can't be that. You know, actually, I come and teach you how to be it. Then when you start actually being it, then the fullness of what he said registers. Yeah, this suit feels good. I'm supposed to do this. And then the more you do it, and then the universe is backing you up, that's supposed to, then it gives you the right. I have a right to do this. I'm supposed to do this. If I don't do it, I'm wrong. And you get better and better and better. So that's the same thing. You all ask me what tribe I'm from. You may not know. I'm telling you. However, it's not going to have the meaning to you until you actually start living certain things, and then it start having a real meaning to you. Then you'll say, man, I wouldn't be no other tribe. Whatever tribe you are not the next one. And if you try to be that, you lose. Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
I have a question, if I may, in reference to what you shared earlier about the sisters being wives to their husbands.
Yes, ma'am.
My two questions are, one, what is the definition of being a wife, and how can I be a proper wife to my husband?
Well, a wife means twice, or the second self. This is what I would suggest that you do if you are with a husband that is with me. Just because he's with me, it doesn't mean that he does everything right, because he's learning, he's developing. You know, even when I won't say was developing, at a stage of my development, I punished some people that it was good that they should be punished, but I shouldn't have done it so severely. However, by me doing it, I learned from it. So I don't do that anymore. The same way it has to be with you all that are married to brothers that are with me, that seem to be a little harsh now with you. If you give up certain things, when I say certain, let me say, if you give up certain disciplines on yourself, what you will or will not do, especially if he is growing, that's what you're to do. And you'll actually grow with him. In other words, if you are fixed in your own thinking based on what you hear me say and teach and what you hear on the tapes and whatnot, and you've come to a decision, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that because that's what Father said. And your husband hasn't seen that yet, although he is growing. And you refuse to do it, that's what makes the relationship rocky. It makes it rocky. If you're going to be his wife, and if you know he's growing, lay with it. Just like the brother, I like the way he answered. I said, your wife with me? He said, no, she with me. You know? And that's the way it's supposed to be. I ain't worried about it because he with me. So if he with me and she with him, she with good people. She with both of them. If you do that, if you do it in that manner, and it's always, remember this, remember this, remember this. Nothing is physical. The physical is the last part of it. In your relationship, everything is here, inside of here. If you can't relate in the unseen, to the unseen, from the unseen, because of the unseen, you're going to be unseen. Yeah, you're not going to be seen no more. You're going to get a divorce. I don't even see the nigger no more. I'm glad he's gone. However, if you got it here, that's where everything is. Everything. A person come to me like I was explaining. Oh, did you all do the tape, the mathematical thinking tape, duplicated, of Friday? Y'all get that tape. I thought it was pretty good myself. Well, most of y'all was here. Get that tape. I was making, and you see some of these things on the martial art display of their abilities, whatnot. And when you see a force coming at you, if you try to face it head on, if you're not really fortified, you may get damaged. The best thing to do is always take it and go with it until you redirect it. In the same way, if you with your husband and he's more forceful than you.
And my daughter, my youngest daughter, had a dream one night, and she says, "Daddy, I had a dream."
Turning. By the time you stop, you got him where you wanted him to be. Yeah, my wife do that to me all the time. Yeah, I'll be mad myself. She said, "Well, come on, let's go to the store. I just want to look at some shoes. I'm not going to buy them. I just want to look at them for me." I said, "Well, I already got 3 pairs of shoes. I don't need no shoes." But you ain't supposed to wear your shoes but once a day. Once every other day. If you do it, the shoes ain't going. I got 3 pairs. Yeah, but you need another pair. Let's go look so when you do need a pair, we know where to go. I really don't want no shoes. I said, "Okay, we go through. So I take her to the store. She's looking. I'm sitting there watching her. She's looking at all the shoes. She's bringing them to me like this and like this. It's all right. It's all right because I haven't made the shoe. I want to make my own shoe, but it's all right." Then the man comes up and he sweet talks her and me. Now we done signed for the shoes or bought the shoes. I didn't go there to get the shoes, but she got me. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
What you see, how you see me, the suit, the tie, the shirt, shoes, all this, she picked it out. And when I go to a meeting, I don't see what I'm going to wear. If she ain't there, I'll be looking, "Where are you? It's time to go. What am I to wear?" "Oh, it's already hanging up in the closet. It's between so and so and so and so. Wear just that." "Oh, okay." I get and put it on, look at me, "Oh, it do look pretty good." That's what you do. But if she listened to me, I wouldn't get the shoes. I might get it 2 years later. I wouldn't do it. But the way she does, she takes the force and swings me right back around. I'm looking at this. Well, one day I'm going to run away from this woman.
Yes,
well, that's why you do it.
Yes, sir. May I ask you one more question?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm standing here looking at you, and it seems like there's a bright light coming from behind you.
Who's back there? Yes, ma'am.
I mean, is it my eyes or what exactly?
Well, you may have the ability to actually see my aura.
Oh, yes, sir.
Some do and some don't. So if you see me, that way, then what you see, you really see.
Oh, man. Thank you.
Salam alaikum. Walaikum salam. I enjoy. How can I say this without incriminating myself? I enjoy being made to do some things because the pleasure is what I see on the other person. I could come up here and bib overalls. It wouldn't make, because what I got, it is not the bib overalls. It's not the suit. What I got for you is here. So if the person dresses me up and they feel real good about it and they look good and it makes them happy, then I'm happy. But as far as I'm concerned, that's not necessary. As long as I'm not up here naked, I put on my bib overalls, come up here, and I'm going to say the same thing. You see what I'm saying? However, I was made to do something to please somebody. And because they were pleased, everybody else seemed like they get pleasure from that same pleasure that they got. You see? So I'm pleased with that. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
It's wonderful to see you and talk with you again. I'd like to ask you a question concerning an experience that I had. In the year 1966, I was going to a store, riding a bike, and it just had, it was at dusk when this happened, and the night fell as it happened. As I turned onto a main street and I looked up, I saw what was called a UFO. And this sighting that I saw was no higher than a 2-story building. And the craft sat in between the building and a telephone pole. And when I saw it, it looked oblong, about the size of a car. And on the bottom of it had different color lights. The color of the craft itself was gray. And it surprised me when I saw it. I wasn't expecting it, even though these sightings had been in my mind from the teachings of the messenger. And what I did immediately was squinch my eyes and shake my head and look, and it was still sitting there because I thought I was hallucinating. And then I looked around to see if anyone was on the street witnessing the same thing. And I saw no one except one man who was standing with his back to this, looking out over a bridge. And when my bike got down to him, and I was glad I didn't fall off the bike because I was shook up. And I said to him, "Did you see what I just saw?" And I'm still looking at the building. And
turning, by the time you stopped, you got him where you wanted him to be. Hey, my wife.
And when I turned and looked, a building that was standing there was tore down. And as I looked at the terrain, there was no houses in the area. And what happened with this craft was that the second I thought of it was going to lift up and disappear out of sight over the building, it did this. And he finally turned to me, and I'm still looking at the building, looking for it to come back. He finally turned to me and he said to me, "So what did you see?" And at that second I thought, he's not going to believe me. So I said to him, "You wouldn't believe me." And he said, "Yes, there's so many strange things happening today." A brother I spoke to this about later asked me did I look at him to try to see who he was. And I told him no, I was staring at the building. The question I'd like to ask, was that person that I saw you?
No, sir.
Okay.
It was because of me, but it wasn't me.
Yes, sir.
They gave you something for today. Matter of fact, they gave you something for about 3 years ago, and for today. When I say today, not this Sunday.
Yes,
for
sir.
this period of time.
Yes, sir. Because it was always a thought in my mind. Why did I see this? Why did I experience it?
Well, we're going to have to be comfortable with knowing what belongs to us.
Yes, sir.
And the 1,500 little ships belongs to us. It's like we have put them on a time base to go to work. And some of us have to be acquainted with them before others. And if you have any fear in you concerning that, or their operation, you can't get near it. They won't come next to you. They won't allow you to be close to it. If you are fearless, and it's about time for things to start happening. And if I had a wife, and she lived in California, and I really loved her, however, I'm living in New York with 2 other wives that I like. And the only way that I could ever get to see the one that I love is that I would have to leave or allow her to come and not have the other 2 that is with me do any harm to her. Then I would have to do just that, especially if I loved her. What I'm saying is this. The message was to the black man that you God. This means you're greater than the spacecraft. You're greater than the scientist. You're God, not a scientist. You're God. Now, these people that have knowledge before you have it, but they don't hold the claim that you have as being God, love you. And the only relationship that they want to have with you is in a fearless relationship. A good, a godly relationship. So when you come in their presence or they come into your presence, they have to use the knowledge to make you very comfortable with them so that they can give you what they have for you. The same if I love this wife and I love her, but like the others, I'd much rather be with the one I love. More so than the 2 that I like. I got 2. More than the 1. But I really want the 1 and not the 2. You see what I'm saying? Here the scientists want the black man. He didn't necessarily want the ship. He don't need the mothership. But he does need the black man that thought of how to do it. You see? So now when it gets time for this to actually take place, which is almost time, we got people that has been under the messenger's teachings that has had experience with this. You've seen the ship, you know it to be real. That black man that came on the TV last night was talking about Minister Farrakhan out of Boston. He looked like I don't know what. He did. The brother, you know, no one that is of knowledge should look that way if God has blessed them. What he was speaking, making it as though the man is a nut, talking about a mothership, and as long as he do that, he'll never have nobody with him. However, the fact remains, even white folks say it. They admitted that it does exist. What does it exist for other than us? So they gave you something. What then and now?
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Was it me?
Yes, sir. One more question?
Yes, sir.
I would like...
It's 5 o'clock. I'll go 20 more minutes.
And when I turned and looked, a building that was standing there was tore down. And as I looked at the terrain...
Some personal audiences. I do that very quickly. And I got some other things I got to take care of around the country. You know, while I'm here, the phone is ringing. I call back and find out what they want. First, I tune in and see who's most urgent. If nobody calls, I tune in and want to know why. You know, everybody, they doing that well. So I won't be able to say much longer, but I'll take the question. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'd like to know how much power does Temple number 40 have at the present, and the most successful way we can use it.
You all have, well, say from 1 to 10. You have 8. You're using 1. And if you want to see your power, what the power has to produce for you is a livelihood. Freedom. You got the bean pie. You got the black people that love it. You got white people that love it. Go feed it to them. And don't worry about feeding white people. They feed you. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You go get your fish from them, get your sugar from them. Even get the ingredients to make the pie. You go get it from him. Go give it back to him. Make him pay you. Does that sound strange?
Yes, sir.
Get up, black man. If you start off with that, if you have to go door to door, let the people see you. And what you're offering them is something that is wholesome and right for them. What you're really offering them is yourself. When they see you coming, they may say, oh, he got the bean pie. But really, they're seeing you. They're seeing this order that the brother asked me about. That plays harder on their mind than the bean pie. The bean pie just confirms it. Then they'll be looking for you. Or give them the phone number. Look, call down so-and-so and so-and-so. If you can't get there, I'll bring it to you. Make it convenient for them. And you start that, then I'll start with you. And when you do that, I'll start you doing something else. And before you know it, you're going to attract this whole corridor.
Yes, sir.
From Maine to New York, since New York wants to be so hard here. They're going to be coming up to Connecticut. Well, how can I connect? You see?
Yes, sir.
Then you'll be operating on the 10 scale. All you got to do is start. The family of 10 is already here. They just laying back still lazy. Well, I know I got power, but brother, you go do it. I'm going to take you another 20 minutes here. When they get up, say, oh, look, they got bean pies. They say, you can't buy anything hardly cheaper than the bean. You got somebody that's willing to make it. If they're willing to make it, you say, look, what we're going to do, we're going to make you get a factory because we're going to sell these pies so much, you're going to have to get a factory.
Yes, sir.
Now, just make sure if I don't have no car that I got some good shoes that I can make it walking to these places or getting on a bus. Don't take the cab. Take too much money. Get on a bus, carry it and deliver it. You ain't got to get no store and set it up. Do that after you make way to do that. We are making something from nothing. Remember that. I'll tell you, that bean pie is it.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Thank you very much, Father.
Yes,
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. We got to give the black man something to do. Yes, sir. And we can't send him to the agency, unemployment agency down to white folks. We got to give him something to do that's coming from us. If you start walking just to us and start delivering the bean pie, deliver it. Then when I bring the fish up, deliver it. You see? You see how it goes? Yes, we bring the clothes up, everything will start to take shape and form. And one thing will perpetuate the other. And before you know it, you have to start hiring people. Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
First of all, I want to thank you. I had asked you something in the unseen, and I had asked you to remove a lot of the negative thoughts that I had that just was popping up, and I was asking you that, and you've done that. Although I still have negative, of course, you already know that. I'm just acknowledging it, and I do have thoughts that come up, but it's not like it was when I asked you to remove that from me. So I want to thank you, and I just want to give this as an example of some of the negative thoughts that I had when it was shared with me. We were going to have a home inspection. I didn't even know the why of that.
Some personal audiences. I do that very quickly.
In order, and I don't know. I don't need anybody to, I'm moving out on, the thoughts of this world. However, when I began to go into motion and put things in order, which I'm not there yet, but just started, I went into the why of that. And I said, if just trying to put my house in order and keep it there is a big, big job.
That's right.
And if you master that, I'm seeing now that you can go on and master other things. That's mastery. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, I know why. Because you think it's a simple thing. But it's not. Even when I got 2 or 3 rooms together, I look back and it seems like I haven't done anything because there was so much of disorder in my home that as fast as I pick up, they're putting it back. So this is just an example of going into motion to bring out of us what you're sharing with us of what this is all about. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. I want to say that. I have something I want to ask you concerning my son. He's 30 years old and he's incarcerated. They gave him life plus 25. It was murder that he was involved in. Prior to that, he's 30 years old. Prior to that, he was aware of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad because I shared the teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad with all my children. Although I am of the new, I shared that with him. He only went with me at that time under Lewis because he had to do it because he was in the house. He never really submitted to the teaching because when he got grown, it didn't even reflect in his life. I say approximately 6 or 7 months ago, I began to share with him about you. And he started reading. He got very interested, very curious. He wanted to know more and more and more. Of course, that made me feel, real good. However, ever since then, Satan has been very busy. After that, he got on, they locked the charges against him are really false. I truly believe it because I've read the evidence. And they fixed it so they put him into what they call Supermax, which means now he's incarcerated 24 hours a day. I think they give him 45 minutes out of a day. Otherwise, he's incarcerated now. Look like it's going to be like, 3 years. It's just an example of how Satan has been with him. He wrote me a letter I got it on Friday, and he was, sharing with me that he said, this boy, he said, I'm about to lose my mind. He said, this boy in here, now I don't know if he's referring to a black man that's acting as a boy or the real boy, is sliding feces under his cell door. And these are just some examples that happen. And he says, I'm going to be out of this one day. And he said, I hope when I get out of here, I don't kill him. But reading his letter, I could see that he's very disturbed. And what I've been doing is going to see him. I can go see him now twice a month. They messing with the literature. I mailed him a Bible, Message to the Black Man, around the 1st of the month. Still haven't received that. I just want to know, what can I share with him on my next visit, which would be Wednesday, that could possibly bring some peace to him. I told him don't worry about the time because they don't have those many years to keep him. So that have helped him tremendously. But right now he's storming.
Well, has he admitted that he actually participated in some murder or something? Has he admitted it to you?
Yes, sir.
Did he say he did?
Yes, sir. He shared with me that it was an accident. He did not go to pull the trigger to kill this gentleman. He never handled a gun before, and he said it went off it was in a robbery. I guess being nervous and shaken. So he said his intention was not to murder the man.
All right, wait.
Life plus 25 more years. I think life, they have to do somewhere around 20 or 25, and another third of the 25 years. The time, it's a little strange how they give you those years, but you don't actually do all the time. However, in order, and I don't know, I don't need anybody to, I'm moving out on, the thoughts of the incident, but it was our first major incident.
Well, you can tell him that we'll get him out of the lockdown and away from that type of behavior about the feces.
Yes, sir.
Only if he accepts what you sharing with him.
Yes, sir.
If he accepts it, and what he did was an act of random foolishness, then you let him know if he does believe and seeks what you're telling him to be true.
Yes, sir.
I will take him out of the lockdown part.
Yes, sir.
And save him in his thinking, and also let him know that everything of material comes from a thought. That's what's making him angry. Just reverse the thought. The person is sliding it under. That's not the only thing that's going to happen. Other things that people do, after they do it, that's an expression of what they thought before they did it. So you're angry with the person for even thinking that way. Tell him to reverse the thought of what the person is thinking. In other words, even if it's me and I know I'm in a place where I don't have anything that I can't do anything about it, wash it up. Make you something to push it back over there. In other words, don't take on the thought of what this person is telling you, expressing to you. This person is pushing that under, like saying to purposely harass this person or to make them think that they are less than that. When in fact, the person is so frustrated themselves, they're trying to find something to do, to give them something to carry on in their time that they're spending, just to think on.
Yes, sir.
So he's got to reverse that thing.
Yes, sir.
However, if he's interested in what we're doing, really truthful about it,
yes, sir.
I'll take him out of the lockup part.
Yes, sir.
He at least has more than half today in the yard or wherever. We'll remove him.
Yes, sir.
And if he sticks to that, and things still work out, we'll let him out. However, he's not going to fool me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Father. Those are the exact words that I shared with him. When I went in, I said, this is not something that you follow or something that you latch on to right now just because you're here. I said, it's shared with me that you have to be with him in the idea. That is thinking right, want to be righteousness, and want to see the hereafter come back into the God that you are. From the questions that he's asking me, because he has the time to study the literature that I send him. And what I've been doing is Xeroxing him Theology of Time, because they holding up his books. And he's sharper than me, because he be writing me, because he's going through it with very...
You got plenty of time, right?
Yes, sir. And so he's actually learning from that. So it appears that he's with you.
All right.
Yes, sir. Two quick question. Prior to being with you, an idea, I had a big interest in the mind and how the minds work and the subconscious mind. And I would just read all that literature because I really want to know, and I'm sure that have helped me to see you at this time being of the new. However, after being with you, I've closed those books like Dynamic Thought and etc. Because I've already heard something that you said that told me that what I'm feeding my mind, I shouldn't, be feeding my mind that. So I have those books closed, although some of those books deal with your thinking. And I was already, reading that, I was using it for another source. I was using it into how at that time to be successful in this world, or how to be leaders. Because as you know, I'm in marketing and I do a lot of training. So I was trying to learn how to master the situation from there. But however, some of the principles in there, dealing with everything starts from a thought. Although they use repetition and meditation, I've already heard you say we don't have to do that. My question is, should I keep those books closed?
Yes, ma'am. You don't need that.
Yes, sir.
That's like a crutch, and both of your legs are good.
Yes, sir.
You don't need that. There may be truth in it, which it has to be some truth in it.
Yes, sir.
However, it's got the devil's philosophy.
Yes, sir.
So it'll only work the way that he has, because he designed it.
Yes, sir.
For it to work only for him. If you go to tell people the real truth, half of what he wrote you don't even need.
Yes, sir. Incident, but it was our first major incident.
Well, you can tell him that.
Yes, sir, I will. And I'm asked. I have one request from you, and I want to ask you to help me to grow in my thinking in the order that Mother is in. That's my request. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. I'll work on it.
Peace.
Peace.
Just one more question. Maybe that's just to clear the filth out of my mind.
Yes, sir.
I believe, or not I believe, because belief got nothing to do with influence of the wrong. What I have come to hear, and I don't know if this was propaganda that reached my ears, because I'm not from this country. I never knew that there was black Islam was so active as I've come to know it for the past 3 years. But what I have heard, the reason why Malcolm X was killed was because he spilled some beans of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that he fathered some children outside of his marriage. Now I don't know. I have to get clarity on that, because I don't like to have any.
Were you asking, did that happen?
Did that happen? In other words, did he father children outside of his marriage? And that was the reason why Malcolm X left the nation?
Well, no, sir. That's a good question. That maybe should have been answered a little earlier. Everything that is being done from a divine plan. A divine plan. When it's concerning Allah, things don't happen by coincidence. Malcolm X is not a coincidence, and the messenger never had no children outside of his marriage. Every sister that was with him was ordained to be with him by Allah himself, so they were married. No such thing outside of his marriage. That's the devil's impression or influence that he put on marriage. You're to have one wife where he has 10 on the side, cheating. Allah come and raise this man up. We got to remember, we got to come out of being babies in our thinking. If Allah raised this man up to be an example and a guide and a messenger to and for us, he cannot be allowed to do something that is so obvious that would take from his godship or from the message. So what we would have to know, is this ordained by Allah? And you look in the Quran, you see yes. You look in the Bible, you see yes. Solomon had 700 wives, 300 concubines. And they still didn't know if that was the right count. They know it was no less than that. Now, did I step outside of the law? It can't be. So the language is wrong. Malcolm was not killed because he spilt or made that known. No, sir. What Malcolm lost his life from his own people, from this government. When the same thing that they're doing to Lewis, Minister Lewis, since I being allowed and will not allow them to take his physical life because I promised the messenger. Not that his life means that much to me. However, I promised the messenger. So they're killing him another way. And they're letting his own people drive the coffin, nail in his coffin. They're killing the minister. Like when they went off last night, they said he is his worst enemy. He is. However, you ain't seen nothing yet. You think this white man's been on him. You wait until his people find out that I actually am God. I'm going to have to hold them off of him. So no, sir, the thing of it is, this is actually a plan from the original man, the black man, the owner. He's got the right to plan it and plan in advance and then come back.
Yes, sir, I will. And I have one request from you, and I want
to the destination of what he planned. So the God planned for us to go under this man. That's why it reads, let us make a man, and we'll give him power and dominion over what we've made. We'll even give him the right to rename the angels. He did that. However, we're going to give him this power only for 6 days, 6,000 years. After that, that's it. I will come. I'll raise up a messenger first and send him before we make sure he got everybody ready that wants to be ready. Then I will come and step in and say, bam, all right, Daddy's home to stay. You see? So this is what happened. All those events that's taken place, we want to make it like this is not divine. Some of what the minister is doing is divine. Some of what Elijah taught was divine. Hell no. All of what Elijah did is divine. And all of what Farrakhan did is divine. It is Lewis that's not divine. But you got to know what that is. Now, God comes in and steps in. There is nothing that Elijah did or nothing that Farrakhan did that was in error. Not one. You can't find not one thing. You might find a whole lot you don't like. But we don't give a damn about what you like or don't like. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. I like sugar, but if I eat too much, it's going to kill me. That's right. So this is what is happening. I understand you say you're not from this country. You're still a black man. However, you are our relative. We have a responsibility to you. This took place in this part of the world, which was already planned and designed for this to take place. We exiled the Indian over here to let you know that this is the poor part of the planet. We put what we didn't want with us over here. Exile and made him walk just like we did the devil. But 16,000 years before we made white folks do it. Made him come over here. So when white folks finally got here, here's another new man that we sent over here that's not in accord with us. We didn't care about the poor part. However, we came over and went under both of these people to show that the world that we are God. And we're going to change all this wrongness. And after we come out, we're coming out being God of the new. You're the God of the old. However, we got a responsibility. If we're God, we got to treat you in such a way that you see, hey, I want to be with you. I want this new knowledge. And we got to give it to you. We got to give it to you. Because you own the earth just like us. It's just that you own it. We got authority over it. You see what I'm saying? Yes, sir. The black man on the earth, wherever he is, owns this earth. He owns it. But the black man in North America, for what we've been in, and what we are in, what we've gone under, and what, since I am here and doing what I'm doing, gives you the authority over the owner. I tell you, yes, you can buy this car, but you got to pay me the taxes. Yes, you can pay me the tax and take the car, but you better buy your plate. Now, since you got the place and you got the car, you own it, but you better get insurance. You own it, but I'm telling you what to do with it. You see? Yeah, you own the earth. 196,940,000 square miles. You own it. But we over here in 2,000 plus 3,000. We're going to tell you what to do with it. Hey, I think that's pretty good. And we're not going to tell you something that's going to hurt you. You're going to love it. So the things that has happened with Malcolm says we promised him, the messenger, we'll give you somebody that will be good for approximately 10 years. It means the man that we're going to go and get, he's not going to be in accord with Islam. We're going to make him do this. Now, when the time runs out, he's going to go back to being what he was, a thug, a hustler. So that's what he went back to doing. And he wanted to charge the nation or the messenger for doing some things or throw some stones at the messenger. The messenger wasn't upset with that. Because God gave him the right. If Allah tells me something, if I tell you something, to go do so and so and so and so, and somebody comes up and says, well, look, man, you ain't got to do that. That's crazy. You should do something else. They can't make you not do it because I told you. If you let them take you off, you let them, but they had no power nor right. You gave them the power. So we gave the messenger the power, and we gave Malcolm the power to speak for the messenger for a period of time. And when he left, he fell and took a third of the angels with him. Now you got a lot of brothers out here running around mad with Minister Farrakhan because they think he had something to do with his death. They never asked me. Now what about, should he have been killed? If he shouldn't, I could have kept him the same way I kept the messenger. Didn't nobody kill the messenger? So it's easy. I could have kept him. But I didn't. Or to the destination of what he planned. So if God planned for us to go under this man, that's why it reads, let us make a... Since he don't do it, I let a man named Farrakhan, scientist, come into this man. Say what he got to say. When he's finished, he leaves. When the time is up, Farrakhan is gone. Now Lewis is here. What he's doing, he's killing himself. He's killing himself. He wants to vote. He wants to go back and say all praises are due to Allah and go say the prayer in Arabic and all this kind of, that's an insult to the messenger and a gross insult to me. He's going backwards after he poked fun at Wallace. You see? Wallace already did that, so what he's doing is really like the same thing. He go to the UN. I thought he went inside the building. He outside. And at the same time, he knows damn well Silas Muhammad is dealing with the UN. Well, when he goes to try to rob and steal from him, he's going to go up with the UN and have the march and celebrate their anniversary at a place where another man is trying to get something done for his people. But he don't say nothing about Silas as though he's the only man out here doing something. Silas told him, if you go march, man, come on, be with me. March on the reparation. Don't march in Washington. Let's go march at the UN. No, he marched on Washington. Now, most people don't know what Silas is doing now. He go to the UN. So if Silas do something, well, he's copying after the minister. You see? But you are brother. No, he wasn't killed because of what he said about the messenger. It was because of his own negligence of what he was doing to the black man and what he was saying and doing about what was taught, what was needed for us to know. If the messenger was raised up, he stood up against this Eastern Islam and the way that they do it. The whole time before Malcolm come and during the time that was Malcolm, matter of fact, his whole life, he stood up against that in a way for us. He said, there's no problem with you reading the Quran. Fine. However, if you are my follower, you seek the way through me. This is what the messenger said. Is that right? Yes, sir. Malcolm goes over, he's going to take the people, since he was such a dynamic speaker, and the devil wanted to make you think that Malcolm really runs the nation. So now, if Malcolm can take you back to the Eastern way, the devil has got rid of the nation. So that's why we allowed him to go.
I see. Can I ask another question?
Yes, sir.
Now, according to Orthodox Islam, Muhammad, praise be to his name or his memory, he allowed his followers to have more than one wife for, I believe, the sake maybe of adultery. And do you allow your followers as the final authority in the earth today to have more than one wife?
Well, as I do, I expect my brothers to do the same. However, it's not for me to give permission for them to have more than one wife. They will have to earn it. You have to be worthy of having more than one wife. And that means you have to be about something that requires more than one woman's attention. Not just for you to have another wife, just to stop the sin of being lustful or an adultery or fornicating. So I permit that, no, sir. As it stands at this time, most of the brothers that are already with me, I don't encourage that. If they had that when I found them or when they found me and they were already participating in it, I don't encourage them to drop them because I came along and then the other wives that they did drop are mad with me. What I do is teach them, oh, you had 2 or 3 wives before you met me? Well, look, this is what you're going to have to do to make sure you treat them right. Now, those of you that are not married, get one. Those of you that do have one, treat that one right. And as we grow, if the need comes up that you need another one, by all means, get her. Now, if it were not so, or if it were not the law, I would not have 7 to 1, 12 to 1. Now I think it's about 18 to 1, because 12 of them is filthy and no good. You're never going to change them. So you got 18 sisters to 1 brother. Since he don't do it, I let a man named Farrakhan, scientist, come into this man. Say what he does. You see, so you still ain't got but 6 to 1. However, what about the 6? Or the one out of the 6 that actually gets the man, the other 5 is supposed to go lacking. That don't add up. If God is going to be mathematical, right and exact, and if the women are right and exact and the man don't need but one, well, if you got 100 men, you got 100 women. That's it. But today, if you got 100 men, you got 600 women. So something's got to happen. What has to happen? We got to wake up and build a necessary place and a necessary activity that will give justification for the other 5 to be with the one. You know, I have more than one wife. I think all of y'all know that, right? Yes, sir. And I didn't go looking for neither one. However, I see the necessity of it. And I watch them interact with each other. It's a wonderful thing. They get everything done in such harmony. They're laughing and having a good time. It's like they really married to each other. I'm sitting off in the corner watching. Really. And it's pleasing to see that, because everything that I'm doing and that they are participating in is a mind thing, to make sure that everything is done right and on time for those that would want to participate in right. It's not, I don't need everybody for me. I don't need everybody for me. I don't need none of them. I can buy my clothes. I can dress myself. I can iron. I can cook. I can drive. I can make things. I can build things. I can do many things that I can't tell you right now, but I don't need them. However, they do exist. And I'm pleased with what Allah made before I got here. So why destroy it? Just make a perfect use for them. So Prophet Muhammad encouraged his people, or he did allow that to happen so they wouldn't fall under that type of sin or law. However, I'm doing it from the standpoint of knowledge. If you are knowledgeable, and what will let us know, your activities will let us know if you are. If you are, this is for an example. If you yourself is a wise man, you with me, and I say, well, listen, I want to send you up to Utah, and I want so-and-so to take place, and you're well capable of doing it. I don't tell you how to do it. I just tell you what I want done. You get there, and you got 2 sisters with you, your wife and a secretary. The secretary is with you most all the time, because what you're doing, you're always there doing it. So everything that she's learning and experiencing is coming from you. Now, if she's married, this means she's with you 18 hours a day. She goes home for the other 8 hours, but she's only woke for 3 of the 8 or 4 of the 8. So she got 4 hours to be with her husband. Everything she's talking about is what you said. So whose wife is she really? In other words, you is grooming and putting an influence on someone that is really for you in your thinking. This devil calls it a secretary, but he's got a wife at home that he talks to once in a while, but he talks to his secretary all day. But he goes home and tells his wife, oh, no, we don't have nothing. No, we have nothing in common. She just works there. Well, if he's really teaching her what should be taught instead of teaching her tricks, she will gravitate to him in such a way she can't help it. She can't help it. So it would be best that he take her on as a wife. Then this leaves him free, that if he accidentally bump into her, he don't have to worry about she's going to say, well, look, sexual harassment. No, this is my wife. If he wants to say, oh, darling, you look good today. You're not talking to your secretary. You're talking to your wife and your secretary. You look really good. Pleased that you showed up. You need anything? No, darling. Let's get to work. Well, okay. You all see what I'm saying? Yes, sir. That's the way it is. That's the way it is to be. Now, when it gets to be where, and I'll tell you something else too. After you get the right amount, the rest of them won't let no more come. They protect you. I don't care how many beautiful sisters come up and they try to get to you and they're looking at you. Oh, Father, could I be one of your? I think I got a proposal. I did up for real. I'm trying to think, when was it? 2 or 3 days ago. Somebody asked, but I can't bring a woman in if they say, look, and he like, well, look, I think she should be with me. I like her. You see, so you still ain't got but 61. However, that's right. It's like they almost give you permission to have it or don't have it. And it should be that way. You can't go, I'm not going to go out and get, if I love my wife, I love my wives, each one will have a purpose. I don't love my wife and the rest of them, I like them or love them any less. Each one that is with me, the other one cannot fill that one spot. Each one is their own spot, They have their own space. They have their own space with me in my heart and my thinking, each one. And the other one cannot overdo one. And I see no one is greater than the other. They might see one and depend on one more so than they do the other, but I don't. I don't do that. Now, if I see somebody comes up and say, well, I want to be your wife, I say, well, hey, you got to ask them. Most of the time I say no. I don't want no more wives anyhow. I just say no. However, if it is a reason, I've already taught them. But they say, most of the time they come tell me, Father, you got to get another wife here. This work is killing us. They tell me this. Then they try to tell me who it is. I say, no, I'm telling you, Father, I had a dream, but I'm the one sending the dream. No, that ain't it. You see, they be trying to give me a wife that they are comfortable with. A couple of them they showed me they would work out, but I just don't. I don't see where it's time. They work a little harder. I still don't need them. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. It's easy, but it's not easy. Yes, sir.
Thank you for that answer.
Yes, sir.
That gives me clarity. I hear so much of the mothership, and many brethren or many of the brothers from time to time have seen it either by vision or by dream or physical appearance, like the last brother. Now, as a spiritual attribute of God, before the world began, I was. Before my manifestation into the earth through marriage wedlock, through my mom and dad. Now, one brother was asking if you were there when this ship appeared. I marveled at the faith they have in you. And at the former time I heard somebody was asking if you were there present and things like that, and then you would declare that you were there. But would the followers go through a form of chains in their body to be able to connect with these, as you counted them up or mentioned them, 1,500 or 1,500 ships? Would they have to go through a change to really get in contact with these? And would you call those ships would you call them investigating judgment angels, or what would you say they are? They are classed as UFOs by the world, but would you acknowledge them as investigating judgment angels?
Yes, sir. They are just that. They do investigate. They do scientific work to make sure when they go into motion that they're absolutely right and exact, that they don't miss it by a fraction. And we can say that they are angels, and they will be administering just judgment on this man that has brought about this misery on our people. And as far as those that are with me, the only thing you have to do is start the process of thinking right. They already want to be with you. It's just that they know they can't with the way that you think. When you start thinking right and the time does show up that you actually can be... That's right. That they can't wait to be with you because they got so many gifts that they want to give you. However, some of the ones that's in my family and that are with me, they even want to adopt you to give you this power. They can't wait to be with you. But what determines that is our thinking. As long as we think that they don't exist or that it's spooky, that it is a UFO, unidentified, they don't have to come and do my duty. I'm doing it. So why should they come and subject themselves to disbelief from the ignorant? My duty is to change them from being ignorant into being intelligent. This way they can converse with them in an intelligent manner. So yes, sir, they are judgment angels. And the only thing you have to do, like I say, change your thinking. And in the changing of your thinking, watch your weight. The only thing that will stop you from going with them on the ship is your weight. It won't stop them from coming and talking with you. But if your weight is right, you can even go with them. And there's something else that you said. The ones that are really with me don't have faith in me. They have knowledge. To have faith means that you don't really know. You strongly believe. And then you see a few things that will confirm your belief that really makes it faith. If you're really with me, you don't believe unless it's the sister, and then she's a true believer. But the brother, being God is God, talking to God, is just that I've developed myself before you have. And I teach you to do what I do. And the formula of what I use, I'm teaching you to use it. So whatever you come up with, it's not a belief or it's not faith. It actually is. That's what gives them the strength in what they do in conversing with me, or how they describe what they're asking or telling me about myself or what they're doing. They have already tested their faith into belief, and from belief into knowing in a mathematical way. They know. How many of you all that's with me know that I really am Allah? Can you prove it? Yeah. See, nobody else can do that.
So, as I earlier on said when I started off with my acknowledgement, that I do acknowledge you for what you say you are. And as the song says, I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. One last question. There's a man at the moment sitting in the temple of God and proclaiming himself to be God. But the knowledgeable and the predestinated attribute sons of God know that it is not so. Right. And that is the Pope of Rome. Yes, sir. Yes, so sir. What do you have to say about that gentleman with his many claims, because he's the great mother of harlots? She has given him much credentials to make such claims, like all his other predecessors, which comes to the number of almost 270 of them.
Yes, sir. Well, the Pope of Rome is is the head or the spiritual head of the open enemy, or he's the open enemy that is the spiritual head of the beast. He has, went ahead of us before we actually raised the messenger up and my actually showing up and bringing forth the reminder, the minister and the other people that's with us, and has caused everybody to think that Christianity is the way, that the Bible, Jesus Christ, is the way, and that he is to be referred to as, like you say, Father. He's the one that claims to say he's God.
Incarnated God.
However, he wrote about himself, but he did it in a symbolic language. You know, in so many words, we would say that they can't wait to be with you because they got so many gifts that they want to give you. However, some of them, he was wounded or he was killed, but he died not from his wound. Up until the time that he was shot, most people think that he was really God's main man. Some of them thought he was God. However, for the mere fact that he got shot, it killed that idea. So it killed it, that idea. However, he didn't die from the wound. And this particular one gives power to the beast, which is this government here. The white man here in this country, North America, he's a beast. He has power and sway over all of the countries, all of the world. And what gives him power is that the Pope has knowledge, real knowledge of us. The Jews do too, but the Jews don't tell nobody. But the Pope now is beginning to fill the president in on exactly who we are, who I am, and what must be done to make sure if they're going to have any chance of survival. So the Pope is giving the beast power, but it's not enough. So that's what's going to happen to him. He's about ready to croak. He's about ready to go. And mark my words, the one that they try to put in his place to fulfill his spot is not going to want it. He's not going to want it because he see me. Not only do he see the black Madonna, now he sees the black father of the Madonna.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Well, I really must go. I appreciate you all coming out. How many believe what you heard to be true? Well, I really don't like to chase negative. How many believe what you heard is not true? How many of you all doubt what you heard? Have a question about what you heard? So I guess by math I should take it that everyone is in agreement with what you heard to be true. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, this imposes a duty on you to be right, think right, be right, live right, and let's make this nation a nation. I'm not looking for 1 million people. That wasn't prophesied that would take place. It will come, but the million is not going to be the head. So what you do, start to work here. Although it may seem simple, do it anyhow and see where the power is. And as far as Brother John Keys in Boston, I know he's there by himself. I've got a couple proposals from you. Matter of fact, more than a couple. The last two that I received, whatnot, one of them was a little wordy, but the point is well made. And the other is acceptable. However, we haven't lived up to your thinking yet. We got to do some things to catch up with the proposal that you sent as far as the TVs and the things that are the one step. We got to do some things because once we start to do that, the people got to have something to see that bears witness to what we asking them. So at this time, I have recognized that I do look at everything that is sent to me in proposals or a phone call. I pay attention to it, although I may not answer the phone. The person that answers it tells me because they know if they don't tell me, they're going to be in trouble. You know, it might have been Lewis calling and say, I'm ready to give it up, and they went to sleep and forgot. You see? So they got to remember. And then I get back to you. If I don't get back to you, I send you a message from me in the unseen. You know I got it. What you got, you seem to be a brilliant brother with words. And also, the way you place the ideas is very good. However, we got to produce something to back up that. So I have a file, John Keys. I do. I have already filed and waiting. So I just want to let you know that. And since all of y'all believe it, I'm not asking much, just go in motion. You can't fail with the bean pie. You can't fail with it. We get a restaurant going up here where you can sell bean soup and everything and have a place for the Muslims to come and actually enjoy themselves and without arguing. Because we got plenty to do. Plenty to do. And the brother from there, what country are you from? South Africa. All right, well, we have a brother there, and we got quite a few things in the earth that belongs to us. And I hope the brother goes back and says, well, I did have an experience, or call back, however he wants to do it, and let someone know there that I've had an experience that I think is worthy. He was wounded, or he was killed, but he died not. From his, get some tapes. Give him the card with the 800 number on it. So that if he can't remember it, we can help him. We're the gods of it all. And remember, we're starting off in this small place, which is called North America. We were buried, but we're coming back alive. Love you. Salaam alaikum.